Now my internet's getting weird. There we go.
Hey, we are live.
There we go. Let's get going.
Let's tell people about coffee.
Are you tired of those boring, predictable gifts? Every holiday season, it's the same old thing. A pair of socks, that terrible holiday sweater, or how about that fruitcake? Oh, if I get another fruitcake, I'm gonna tear into someone's esophagus. Anyways, why not try something bold this holiday season? And nothing screams festive like a zombie Santa with your coffee. Bold, robust, delicious. Deadly Grounds Coffee. It's coffee to die for and zombie approved. Why not get a little deadly this holiday season?
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Nice.
Oh, awesome. Hello and welcome to a new episode of Corpse Garden, where we're just generally chatting. I have the keys to all of our corpse gardens around the country, so we can randomly pick one and join in. I have with me my favorite person who adds to our corpse garden, Rusty Slasher,
Hey guys.
and
Man.
we're just here chatting. So yeah, please come join us.
Come hang out. If we get a few more people in here, I'll show you guys an ad that I made that I'm really proud of for our haunt. It's got boosted on Facebook, so it's making its rounds right now.
Oh, that sounds awesome. I hadn't looked yet.
Yeah, I wanted to do like an epic rap battle series of videos for the haunt, right? Because I'm really big
Yeah.
into the whole rap battles of history. Like, I'm not ripping them off. I'm just something that kind of like a homage to them, sort of. And I kind of created a Christmas version of it because like a Christmas rap is a little slower. It's more like they're talking in like certain pentameters and stuff more than actually rapping. But it's Krampus versus Santa. It's our sideshow Santa though, and from the freak show from the haunt. So and our Krampus. So it's kind of a back and forth. I had a lot of fun writing and like doing the video.
I enjoyed it. It was really cool. I definitely enjoyed watching.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. I uploaded it to you guys all privately before I put it out there.
Oh yeah. Here, let me add this to my wall and see if anybody.
I couldn't do the actual camera work there, unfortunately, because that day I'd thrown my back out. So I had Keisha go down there with her phone and film some stuff for me.
I hope you're feeling better though.
Better enough to go haunt this weekend.
That's good.
Not that anything stops me from that, as we've all learned.
Okay, I've posted the link to come join us on my Facebook wall, in case any of our friends would like to come, and in our private owl chat. So yeah. So yeah. How is your corpse garden going?
The garden is slowly growing. Slowly growing. I think it kind of died on me there towards the end of Nano. For the first year, I really was convinced that I wasn't going to make it. And I've done this through like losing everything in tornadoes. I've done it through dying from COVID. I've done it through living in hotels. But this year, for some reason, it should have not been as hard as the other years, the nightmare years, but it was. And I was looking at it. It's like the 11th, 10th or 11th time I've actually completed Nano by the time I was done. But I got less usable stuff out of it this year. Like the brain fog was just so bad, and like the pain, like recovery and being sick, that a lot of the stuff that I got out of it, I'm saving it. I don't get rid of anything, but I'm gonna have to change a lot of it to to get it to work where I need it to go.
That works. Hopefully, you can find something really good
Yeah, I mean, I
because
did have a couple breakthroughs here and there, so
that
it wasn't
rocks.
nothing.
Because my mother-in-law, Martha, was telling everybody today that came over because her brother and sister-in-law and a couple of friends on the phone, I told them why they should read your stuff because
No
we had
pressure.
book uh there were book recommendations asked for and it was like, yes, you must read this person.
I think what I try to do is just write from a place of what I know, and I think a lot of authors will say that, but I'm literally writing about, the town I grew up in, which I know pretty much everything about, and still a lot of people who live there or from there. And the weird thing about it is it's a military town, and it's easy to forget that when you read what I write, or if you don't know Riverside, we are right up against Wright Pat Air Force Base. So it's very odd between this creepy, like, weird ass little town and then all military right here. And then there's this moment where it all kind of there's like a line where it all kind of meets each other. And it's like right the school district, which is like in a line pretty much down the same street.
Mhm.
So it's really super weird.
I know one of my favorite paranormal writers, Hans Holzer, had wrote about the interesting things you could find there
Yeah. Yeah,
and
I've
what
actually heard a
may
little bit.
be hid on base.
There's a lot. There's this thing called the Blue Book that you can read about. It got mostly put out in the public. Mostly, there's still some redacted stuff in there, but it's just interviews and people talking about things they found after the Roswell crash happened. Everything got moved to Wright Pat. Not a lot of people know that. They think, oh, it's Roswell, Area 51. No, that was Area 51 was literally just like a giant storage warehouse where they grabbed it, they put it all inside until Wright Pat came and got it. Because a lot of the research and development for the whole Air Force happens below, other levels, at Wright Pat. So there's a lot of weird shit that has come in and out of that place over the years.
So everybody stormed the wrong base.
Yeah, because if you tried to store Wright Pat, I'm pretty sure you'd all just get shot.
True, but a whole bunch of people did actually decide to storm Roswell,
Oh yeah, that was the whole thing.
and it looked odd.
I saw a lot of the footage and stuff from that. I thought it was
But
pretty fun, the giant party and all that.
oh yeah, I did enjoy the different random tours of Riverside that I was able to find on YouTube.
It was so funny you
I
sent
did
me
not.
those videos when you looking at them. So I was like, oh, that's so and so's house. Hey, this was the time that I did this or that. Like, just I don't drive around over there like a ton. I actually don't even. I haven't been over there, and it's been almost a year since I drove around. Actually, like Riverside proper, like the outer reaches of Riverside, I drive through randomly. The Hahn is technically partially Riverside as well. So like in Riverside, I'm just not driving around all the old sites off. It's usually something
I
I do right before I'm about to write a lot.
definitely. I think my main request is you or ask your friends to or have them pick one place from the list of places you like have well you have added to your stories and have them take pictures and post online. Hey, you can find this in Raz's book and tag you in it.
I might have to do
That
that. I know
that
my
would
sister
be
Candy.
such a fun thing, a scavenger hunt.
Yeah, my sister Candy still lives over in Riverside, so I can see if she'll help me out a little bit. I'm sure she would. She actually helps me sell my books at the Haunt and does all kinds of stuff for me with the books and buys a copy every time I get it something new out.
That rocks. And well, you have us trying to help you as well.
Oh
So
yeah,
your
yeah,
sister is awesome, Bill.
yeah. She man, she's not my actual sister, but we've known each other since my third birthday. And she's the one that taught me how to zip my jacket in school, how to tie my shoes, like which I cannot figure out for the life of me. And like it's just she's been in my life like forever, and almost everything I think I've ever written, she's seen. Like in my early novels that went missing that I never finished, she read all of them. Like she
Mhm.
just over the years, like she's been like one of my biggest supporters, probably like since childhood. That's currently still alive, I should say. That's the thing about
That
Riverside.
rocks.
A lot of
I
people don't make it through life in Riverside.
that I understand. I definitely am glad to have got my hands on what you have got published, and I've been able to read beta wise as well.
And you got some stuff coming to you very soon. I'd say in the next week or two that has not been around in the public for a while, like original versions of stories, some stories that like no longer kind of exist in the ethers. Because when I pulled my first collection, there's a lot of stories in there that I never went back and redid and re-put out or anything. So
Okay, that will be fun for us to read because
yeah,
they will be yoinked by my mother-in-law at some point or another.
oh yeah, and it was Campfire Tales, and it was also being turned into a TV show
That
at
would
the
have been
time,
awesome.
and we got the first. Actually, we got a version of There's Something Different About Her filmed, and we were in the process of editing that version of it and a giant wraparound story to Campfire. And that is when I talk often about I had a partner who was the one that actually did all the video editing. I did the writing, the acting, and directing and stuff, but my buddy Bill Miller did all the editing and a lot of other stuff for me. And then that was
Hmm.
around the time that was the year he was murdered. So that's why that project kind of died out. I kind of moved away from the collection and readapted a lot of the stories and stopped selling the collection. And it was just it was a weird time in life, man. I think a lot of the stories got re-edited for the better and used in other places for the better. There's just a couple that just didn't quite make the transition.
Okay,
I'm not even sure. I couldn't even tell you what's all in that book, to be honest with you. I have not looked at it in, in years.
I will find out soon. I feel very
Yeah.
happy about that.
And the original version of when it was called The Mime that you're going to get is it's not a lot. It's a little different, not a lot different. The biggest change is there was a part two. Uh,
Hmm.
there's parts one, two, and three in the original Mime, and part two is just a recipe for cake. That's all it was.
Yeah,
It
but
makes
you would.
context, but I dropped it because I don't know. People didn't like they liked the recipe, but like the flow is weird for people, and they didn't get the humor behind it. So I just kind of I cut it in the modern release.
And I am very saddened that the cake is no longer part of it. But I am definitely looking forward to having as part of homemade class.
Oh yeah, I still have that recipe though. That's a good recipe for yellow cake with chocolate icing, which is my favorite cake.
Oh yeah, definitely one of my favorites. I do home ec with the kids because we homeschool. And this last time I let Sophie take the reins and make the brownies. She did not fully combine everything. And she's like, why is there this white spot on top? And I go on there's a whole entire egg yolk on top.
Oh yeah.
So I ended up showing her different technique to make sure the eggs are beaten so they're broke up before they go in the batter. And that was fun. I'm hoping we can get her more confident in what she's doing. That way she can go forward. But
Oh
the
yeah.
problem with teaching an autistic kid is you have no idea how many times you get to redo the same teaching point until they finally get it. And it makes her so sad because she's like, why don't I have it by now? And I'm like, I don't know, but we're not going to stop.
Yeah. Honestly, some people enjoy having the recipes to follow. Like, I know a lot of people that are amazing cooks, amazing bakers, but they still need
Oh,
the recipe cards because it gives them confidence, the recipe cards. Not that
oh
they
she
couldn't
had
just do it, without them, but like it's helpful. It provides comfort.
she had the recipe, but she never just done it all by herself in the kitchen without anybody there to talk to. Because she just said, okay, mommy's on her way back. I'm going to go ahead and make the brownies for her. And nobody helped. Normally she has somebody to talk with her in there, and
Right.
that didn't happen.
Gotcha.
So
She'll get it though. She'll get
yeah,
it. Definitely. She's smart. The cool thing
oh,
about
she's
cookbooks
smart.
is there's go ahead.
She's smart, but I think she's going to be really happy that her friend Raz sent her a recipe. I'm like, look, you have a recipe right here to make. He wants pictures because you're getting
Oh yeah.
pictures regardless because
Oh yeah.
it'll make her happy to say, hey, he wants pictures.
Definitely.
So
That's awesome, man. Oh, we got a comment. 1 second. Hey, Pyle, what's up, man? We're just kind of hanging out and bullshitting.
the link's on my Facebook page if you want to join, Pile.
Yeah, you're welcome to join, buddy. We're just hanging out and
Just
talking
for
right now.
look at my feet.
We're talking about like some writing and stuff, but like we'll talk about just about literally anything at this
Oh
point
yeah.
tonight. We're just chilling out. It's a pre-holiday, just kind of hanging out and doing not a lot. Um, going back to oh yeah, what are we talking about? Going back to the cooking stuff, there's a lot of really cool cookbooks out there for like pop culture stuff. Like I can say this because I doubt anyone in my family is actually watching the show. That's what I'm doing this year for B-Rad, Brooke, Matt, and Michelle. Is I found really cool cookbooks from different fandoms that they like to for this year because we went into just like a quick like silly kind of thing, and I can show you one of them. I got one of them in the mail already.
Okay, awesome. Josh got Sophia and I the Sanderson Sisters cookbook, the unofficial one. So we've already tried one of the recipes.
Here's one of the ones I got.
Oh, there's a Freddy's one?
Which I did not know about until I went on Amazon, and it's the official one, and it is really fucking cool, man. Like this one is
okay.
This one's Matt's. He's a big fan. He's got me into Five Nights. So, and then I've got the Necronomicon for Michelle because it's something she's been talking about for a while, and I got the official Supernatural cookbook for Brooke.
Okay, definitely need those because we have the Studio Ghibli, we have the Hocus Pocus, and we have the Fallout one. And I really do. Yeah, there's a Fallout one. So yeah, definitely need it. There's one spice in it. I can't remember what it's called. I'll tell you later. But if you put it in place of anything you put pumpkin spice in, it will make it taste so much better. Because Cassie's like, "Can we use that instead of the pumpkin spice in the pie?" And everybody loved it.
Nice.
So yeah, most definitely. The Nord spice, that's what it's called.
Never heard of that before. That's awesome, man.
Oh yeah. So
what we like to do in our family for gifts are like experiences, things that we can do together, things that we can go out and have fun and do. So I figured cookbooks, we can all maybe actually get in the kitchen together or just have nights where like, hey, let's just cook something from the cookbook and go out and like shop the ingredients. And it's the little things in life, that make things a little more palatable.
Oh yeah, Josh and I, we were given some cabbage recently and we've made different ramen recipes. That was so much fun. And then random baking things with the kids. I'm going to get them to pick something new for Christmas out of their Sanderson sister one and see what we want to do with that.
Hell yeah, man. I know Mariah's talked about the time when her boy wanted her to do a lot of Lord of the Rings stuff. So literally, like she went through and cooked all these dishes from scratch, like just figured it out from scratch, and like did all these Lord of the Rings dishes that were phenomenal. And I know she's talked about
they looked awesome.
Oh yeah, and I know she's talked about maybe doing a Harry Potter one in the future too. So hopefully she can do that. I want some recipes from these things. We need to all just go down there and have her cook like a great hall feast for us.
Yes, that would be awesome. You know what? Let's see if we can talk her into joining.
Talk you.
I sent her an invite regardless. Our background, you saw in the opening about Melanie D. Reads.
Oh, yeah.
Our background, guys, was actually a custom tombstone made by Melanie D. And it is of Conan, because that is the person who's actually buries their favorite book series of all time. So I don't know how many people can say that they draw tombstones, but yeah, she does.
Let's see if we get this up a little bit easier. There we go.
Yes.
That's really cool.
Now you can see. Yeah, she drew that by hand, and the dude's like, yeah, I can do that. And he did, and it is awesome.
That is amazing, man. That's definitely a warrior's grave right there.
Oh, yeah.
I love
He was in the army, and he was a truck driver, and he tried to make sure everybody got what they needed. So, yeah, he deserved something awesome. But anyway, back to the other randomness, whatever that randomness is. Let's talk about leprosy. Have you had anything fall off lately?
Not recently, but it could happen anytime now. That's the thing about leprosy. You never know when it's gonna fall off. It just does. It's like the gift
Exactly.
that keeps on giving, you know?
Exactly. Also, one
Larry
of
the
his
Leper
favorite
coming
books.
soon. Yeah. It's Larry the Leper coming soon, parts sold separately. Hey, that's in the radio show that the weird, creepy radio show that randomly pops up on episodes on our YouTube for some reason. There's an
Oh
ad
yeah,
for
I'm
the
looking
Bible
forward to the
action
next
figures.
episode.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
that's what
it's
I'm
coming out.
saying. I'm like, that sounds very familiar. I'm like,
Yeah.
when does the next one come out? I'm looking forward to that.
My understanding is that it's coming out this coming week. Like, not this
This
week we're
coming?
currently in, but the following week, like after this weekend sometime. That's what I
Oh,
understand. And
so
the episodes usually only come out at midnight at random times. I'm not sure why it's so random, but
oh
maybe we'll
yeah,
get
you guys have
recommendations from that.
probably seen it on my page. I really
Nice.
love the show.
I like radio.
And
It's really weird.
yes. And also, yes, Lantern Audio Works does their own thing. You should go listen to their news or go to their YouTube and listen to every single thing of the bedtime stories
Oh yeah.
because her Christmas editions are out and you get to hear some amazing stories.
Nice.
So yes, bedtime stories, Celosia Crane, the Owl Light Radio, and Lantern Audio Works in general. And no,
There's a
guys,
lot
you
of really
probably
cool
heard
shows
me.
out
You've heard me talk about all that before. No, I'm not going to stop.
there.
That's what this particular key is to. Through the portal, and we all get to find out if we taste like lime jello if we go through it wrong. Or is it lemon jello? I can't remember. It's either lime or lemon. Either way,
Ooh, I think Pal's gonna try and
and
join
if
us.
you want to know what I'm talking about, yes, please read Man from Dark County. You will laugh the majority of the time.
Oh yeah. I definitely listen to a lot of weird like shows and stuff and podcasts. Like mostly what I do, I listen to audio podcasts mostly. No Sleep is the one I will never ever stop listening to, along with Chilling Tales for Dark
Oh,
Nights. Like those two like podcasts are like when I want to like chill out, and just listen to really good immersive horror. That's where I go. Like those are the only two I like. I really like hardcore listen to that are like anthology type speculative fiction stuff. And I've had the honor of actually having some stories read on Chilling Tales. So like
yes.
not that I'm partial, but I really enjoyed them before I had stories on there, and I'm looks like I may be having some stories on there again in the future. We're working
Yeah.
on that. Um, but then there's some other really cool weird ones, like Welcome to Night Vale is really weird and fun. It's like this
Yeah, that was
3D.
odd.
Yeah, dude, like it's right up my alley. There's another really cool one that I'm really into. It's called Unwell. It's about this woman that goes back to visit her mother who's a little kind of ill in this
Mhm.
weird little town in Ohio. And she's going back and she's finding out about the house her mother lives in, like all this crazy, creepy stuff. There's like 5 different plots going on. It's a little funny sometimes, then it gets dramatic and intense. Like there's a lot of really cool ones. There's also one that I can't remember the name of that is about a diner that moves in time and space, and the diner just pops up in places. And it all
Cowboy
starts,
Finn?
huh? No. It's called like The
Oh,
Last Diner or something like that. I'll have to look it up here in a minute. It starts because this woman comes to get a
Cowboy
job and
Finn
everyone is
Restaurant.
do what?
I said the book when I was a kid, there was a book called something like Cowboy Friend's Restaurant at the End of the Universe, and the diner would literally jump place to place. And then my dad comes home, and there's literally a Cowboy Friend's restaurant that was just opened in town. And he's like, let's not go there. The nuclear war will start, and we will all die. But anyway, please continue. Sorry.
It's okay. It's called Midnight Burger is the name of it. It's a monthly audio drama about the adventures of a time traveling, dimension spanning diner. It's sort of like a comedy, like bizarro type thing, but it's also fun. There's a lot of really cool ones like that that I find on Spotify and different places that'll be like, oh, this has got like a couple seasons. Let me check it out. So
Oh,
like
yeah.
I try a lot of the different ones like that because I know it's fun.
Okay. So, yeah, definitely going to go back and check those out. Do you see him below?
He asked me. He just messaged me directly for the link,
Okay, good. That helps.
so I just sent it to him. There we go.
I don't remember what this particular owl is supposed to be used for,
Which
but I
owl?
like it. The one in the corner.
Oh, the reading one?
Yeah.
We have so many owls for different things. Some for projects we haven't even started yet. So there's definitely a lot there. There's a lot
I'm
of
going
it.
to borrow it because I haven't figured out what owl to actually have for Corpse Garden Chronicles.
I like his glasses.
Oh, yeah. At some point, I would
here we
like
go.
to get him on a tombstone.
Yeah. Hey, Pyle, what's up, man?
Hey, I don't know if this microphone is going to work or not, but it's brand new.
It's sounding really clear, especially compared to last time, because the other mic you were using that was from your camera would click a lot. It would like clip like a bunch. This sounds like
Right.
real nice and even, man.
Well, I mean, you put a little money into something, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I got lucky with this Rockville mic I've got. It was like $100 and some mic, but there was like an open box thing, and then there was a Black Friday sale, and then there was a coupon for like open box items. So I paid like I think $22 for like $100 and something mic, and I was like, yes, please.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I was like, I don't know if I like this headset, and then I don't know if I'm going to like this mic and this and that, and I was like, yeah, we'll give it a shot. That's all you can do with technology, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And hopefully you'll find an answer.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, like I always say, technology is great as long as it works.
Exactly.
Yes. That's the thing about podcasting. People are like, oh, it's so expensive to get started. Man, let me just tell you, I've done it from shitty ass laptops with like gaming headsets just fine. Yeah, I might not be quite as clear as I'd like to be, but you don't need crazy expensive stuff to just get started and see if it's what you like. And then if it's what you like, slowly over in time, invest in like one thing at a time.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and the one thing I was thinking is like, man, do I have echo? Hopefully I get rid of that echo.
There's no echo, it's gone.
That's
No
awesome
echo.
because I'll tell you,
Mhm.
that
It's that mic, man.
the magic of the pile.
The pile mic and the pile person. It's pile on pile action.
Ooh, that's
It's Corpse Garden Chronicles After Dark.
Oh yeah. For this episode, since we're doing it at night, everything's open. If we're doing our normal time, not so much.
Well, I was like, I just got home not too long ago, and I seen that this jar popped up, and I was like, well, hi everybody.
Hey everybody, it's Dr. Nick.
And Kyle is always welcome.
Yep, always.
Well, thank you very much. I know sometimes it's like I've made my quota on dealing with Pyle.
No, never. Hey, I'm gonna be hanging out with you this weekend, so
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. We get to see you tomorrow, and then we get to see you on Saturday. And I know I'm going to bring some of my troop with me, and you get to see the Ghoul Bus that
I can't wait.
we bought a 2000 E150 van, and it's got like 2 seats that are like 3-seaters, so I can transport a total of 8 people. And I was thinking, you know what, this is gonna work. The BMV here in Ohio decided that they were going to send me for a loop because I told them I was looking into getting a wrap, and it's going to turn white. As soon as it turns white, I'll go ahead and redo the registration. They said, oh, the van's white. There you go. The van is not white. I'm getting pulled over. It's not happened, but there's still time for everything.
Yeah, there is.
It wasn't my fault.
That's hilarious.
So you guys were talking about the tombstone that you guys were just showing. You said someone drew that?
My sister drew the Conan that's on it from one of my dad's book covers.
I'll bring it back.
Okay.
Because that is the one he had on his arm.
That is pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
I'm not going to lie. You know what? I've always said that you do everything you can in your life to express who you are. And when it comes down to a tombstone, if you don't get one set in place, this is the opportunity for someone to show what they believed your life was. And
Mm-hmm.
having something like that on a tombstone, it gives it taste, it gives it texture, and it's like, okay, well, you know what? Maybe there's like a bigger story with that. And I like going out to cemeteries and seeing how different cemeteries are. And here in Ohio, we've had our amount of vandals, and I think that is
Mhm.
absolutely disgraceful to go out and do
I
that.
do too.
So I just my hat goes off to anybody that wants to design tombstones because they are absolutely a artwork that will last for years and years and years.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
See, I was always one of those asshole kids that would break into cemeteries at night, but, like, it was never to hurt or damage anything.
No,
It was
no,
literally to just go in and, like, enjoy myself because there was no one else there, and, like, I could look at all the tombstones, the statuaries, and just kinda chill and wander around, like, that's all I did. I didn't hurt nothing, I didn't deface or
no.
vandalize anything, I respected.
Yes.
You know,
I
and
just wanted to go
that's
hang out with them. That's
right, and
all
that was
we
one.
ever wanted.
Yeah.
That was one of the things that you go through and you see a cemetery and you see how old it is, and that should be a wonderful moment for people to learn history. I mean, I don't know how many times I've looked up somebody and said, "You know what? I'm going to look this person up." Now, I will tell you on the grounds of our haunt that I own, we actually have a gravestone that was set in place at a grave. And the reason that we have it is because some of his family members decided that they were going to get plots right beside him, and they made a big family one.
Oh,
And when they
nice.
made the big family one, it was great because it had all their names. But what do you do with this giant piece of granite?
Yep.
So what had happened was somehow it got taken from there and it gave and was given to someone, and that person brought it to the house. Well, when they sold the house, they decided that they weren't going to take it. So the people that bought the house have had the house for 3 years, and they're debating on making it into a coffee table or what to do with this thing. I mean, if you've ever moved a tombstone, it's two people unless you want to smash some fingers and cuss your head off.
Yeah.
And I will tell you that. But it was amazing because as I had this on the trailer and I'm trying to figure, who this person was, no one knew who this was. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to have to do some research. And then I get it to the haunt, and my father goes, he used to work at a shop. I said, what? He goes, yeah, he used to work at a garage. He used to fix cars. I said, you know him? He goes, why is that here? And I told him, I said, well, it was in a garage. And he goes, like a machine garage? I said, no, in someone's garage. They wouldn't get rid of it. And they said, they just wanted it gone. Well, we acquired it. And Dad goes, out of everything that we acquired, that's what we got. Yeah. Yeah. You know what?
fitting.
It is very fitting because we have a graveyard and we have a casket that has a air powered skeleton that jumps out. And we did not get the stone set this year, but we want to get the stone set this year, along with I want to kind of move that area to be a little more advanced. That means that there's going to be some urns. I don't know. There's going to be some urns that
Nice.
get put in place there. And that was just something, um and the thing is, those stones on people's graves are so heavy
They are,
to
man.
to disrespect somebody by knocking them over and possibly breaking them.
Mhm.
It's terrible. And my thing is, I'm glad that you guys got something on his stone that was relatable to him, not just his name, but it was a very well done picture. It was drawn, and then I imagine you had to have the company come in and carve it in there, right?
No, no, we had them do the whole thing at their the front and the back. The back has his name, death date, and a quote, and on the front is the tattoo that he actually had on his arm.
Okay.
That as good as she could depict. Anyway,
Right.
and then it was put at his grave. And I think the hard part was when they first buried him, they buried him in the wrong place. Then they had to go find him and bury him back by Granny where he should have been. And then when we finally were able to, she drew the stone, the picture herself, and we picked a quote and everything, and then finally got it where it's supposed to. And the funny thing is, on the back of his mom's tombstone, our Granny, they misspelled his name entirely wrong. So that's the
Amen.
That is the thing. Hi, Tom Dog. That's the thing that had happened with that.
You know, I like watching this person on TikTok, and can't remember what her name is or anything, but she talks about death in her TikTok, and she goes
Lauren the
through and does.
Mortician?
Okay, you know her then. All right. So she does a fabulous job of talking about this. And she brought up one time that was a story of someone calling the cemetery or the funeral home and flat out telling them he was buried in the wrong spot. Well, how do you know that? Because he was buried in my spot. Were you there? Yeah. Why didn't you stop it? I didn't want to stop it because that's impolite. Well, digging him up and putting him in the right spot would have been the proper thing. But now we have to do this. Do you know how much money it's going to cost the family? Well, I don't care. Well, you're part of the family. I don't care. He's in my spot. So actually, it's amazing how many times that actually happens, a lot more than what you think.
Oh, yeah.
The problem is they don't allow us to be there when they're interring the body into the ground. They don't allow us to be there to watch. They told us to leave at every funeral in our area. They would tell us to leave. So we were gone. We can see what they were doing. We don't know what they did until we get back and we find them there. And then we find out why his grave is empty. And that was not the best day because they found out that Aunt Janice could cuss like a sailor that day.
Ooh.
So the rules of where you are also matters. Because if we'd been there, we would have told him where he was supposed to go. But if you're there, I don't understand why you wouldn't say. Because none of our family would just stand by and be like, would not say, why are you doing that? That is not what's supposed to happen.
So I have a Uncle Mike. Uncle Mike is one of the ones that he's a really good guy, this and that, just talks. And, you know, you never have problems with Uncle Mike.
Yeah.
Uncle Mike for a long time was quiet and this and that. And I asked, what does Uncle Mike do? And it shocked me because someone told me that he worked at a special place where so many people just couldn't wait to get there. Never understood when I was little. Well, now I understand. Uncle Mike is a groundskeeper of a funeral, of a graveyard. He's a groundskeeper of a graveyard. Some of the things that happen is, you know, he goes and he buries someone. When he does, he actually will make sure everything gets done properly as he can in the most respectful way. And he will tell them a joke as he is covering them up. It's how he copes. And anybody in the first responder field, they will understand dark humor has to be something that's accepted in
Mhm.
these times like this. But Uncle Mike is a wonderful guy. And in fact, the bad thing about what he's got to do is when it gets certain part of the year, flowers like the decorations you guys got there in that photo, the flowers and this and that, they come off of the tombstones, and it's not like you marked them where they need to go back on. So he goes and he takes the flowers, cleans them up, puts them in a pile, and then after so long, he'll throw them in the dumpster just because that's where they got to go.
Right.
I mean, it's
Mhm.
respectful. And we told Mike, hey, do you have any flowers? And he goes, I have a whole pile of them. Why? And we explained one of our scenes was secondhand, gently used graveyard flowers. And he said, how many boxes do you want? So our haunt actually has flowers from a funeral
Mhm.
or from a graveyard, and it's not done untasteful or anything like that.
Right, right.
It's being done respectfully, and these it's not like we went, ooh, you're not using these. It's done because they were lost and now they found a perfect home in our haunt. And if we could
Mhm.
ever figure out where they all came from, we would be more than happy to be respectful even more.
Yeah. I like that
Mhm.
you think about that, man. Honestly, like literally coming up this year is my 30th year in the haunt industry. I'm so excited about that. But like of all the places and all the different people I've worked for, I know a lot of haunt owners would have just been so happy to get that because it's cool, and they
Mhm.
not all of them would have been respectful about it. You know what I mean? Like that, not many of
Yeah,
them wouldn't
it
have been.
the sign on it says the four cousins gently use cemetery flowers. The four cousins being my son Jaden, my daughter Raven,
Mhm.
my niece Molly, and my nephew Gus. Those are the four cousins of the field.
Nice.
So dad, he goes through and he makes these signs, and we try our hardest to make it everything so wonderful to look at and so respectful. And I was just at Carnage, and there is a special scene in there that is the most respectful scene because of what had perspired afterwards with that haunt.
I love Carnage,
But
man.
yeah, I can't say enough about Carnage. I can't say enough about you guys. I'm going to talk to you guys later on at the haunt about something, a crazy conceptual idea that my mind came up with.
Hell yeah.
I don't think Fred's going to have a problem with it.
Probably not.
But when it comes down to cemeteries and it comes down to gravestones and this and that,
In corpse gardens.
Mhm.
right. Oh my God. Do you know what? If Disneyland would ever have a great idea, it would be to put in a nice little garden that people could spread the ashes of their loved ones in that garden instead of putting them all over like the Haunted Mansion or Disney or this and
Well, the
that.
thing is, it's actually illegal. When they catch people, they arrest them for that. Like
Right.
it's a thing. And like some really cool places actually have cemetery ash spreading gardens. Like there's this
Right.
weird little place called it's Hell, Michigan. It's this little tourist thing. I actually have
Oh, I know. I
so
know exactly about it. Yep.
I paid the whole thing to be the mayor there once. I've got the shirt and the certificate and all that stuff. Well, they actually have a little section there that's just for you to bring ashes of loved ones to spread them.
Right.
And I'm seeing that in like some touristy spots, but I'm also kind of seeing it in some like bigger locations. I'm like, that's actually pretty fucking cool, man.
Well,
Mhm.
that's the thing. I mean, if if it would be legal and done it correctly and this and that, I feel like everybody would be so happier to do it.
Yeah.
And there is so many different ways to pay your respects to the deceased. There's so many ways to do something with your deceased. I mean, um, April, she's got her mom's ashes, and she kind of used it as a coping by putting googly eyes on the box and the little urn she's got.
That's cool. I like that.
And we crack jokes and this and that, but
Well,
I
that's what you
know
do with
that.
grief. Like that's something that you do, like comedy and just like you making yourself like laugh. It makes you remember the good times and the positive memories rather than the they're gone. You know what I mean? Like
Oh yeah, yeah.
it's useful.
And my biggest thing is I
That's
tell everybody to bring skids and have like a giant fire for me. Don't be sad, be happy, because I don't have to deal with a lot of problems I gotta deal with here.
Yep, this is true.
my mother-in-law went on a cruise, like the year after my father-in-law passed away. She went with her friend, and she keeps a little urn of Ben, my father-in-law, in her bag. She went on the cruise with him. I mean, with her. And she was stopped at one of the check-in points to go off the boat onto the island to get food and whatever. And the guy picked it up and was like, "What is this? That's my husband. Why do you have him in here? He died." And he just drops it like into the purse. And she said, "Well, thank you. You just dropped them on his head," and walked off. And her friend just started busting out laughing. But it's not a thing that many people think of. That just bringing your loved one where you want to go, let them enjoy your time with you, because she keeps them in a necklace as well.
That's cool, man.
I will
So
tell you that when it comes down to paying respects and this and that, someone told me over the weekend that I am not very nice when it comes down to paying respects to people in my character. And Raz, you've dealt with my character,
Yes.
and you know who comes along with my character.
Mm-hmm.
It's the grandparents. It's grandma and grandpa, and it's there's a difference between paying your respects to a actual body, okay? Even if it's cremated. And there's a difference between having a fake hand and fake ashes.
Mm-hmm.
yes,
But I was told by someone over the weekend that I was so horrible and so untasteful and this and that bad things will come my way. And I told them, well, how ironic, bad things have always come my way, and I've dealt with it every single day. But when it comes down to actual cremains and loved ones and this and that, I am one of the most respectful people. And in fact, I'm the one that my friends get a hold of to understand death.
Right. See, I would tell that person to just fuck right off. That would literally be my immediate knee-jerk response. Like, you are not important in my life. You can fuck right off.
so none of my family members who have listened to the episode that you were on could find a reason to have a problem with that. They all laughed, and they all liked my idea of wanting their own little award of the grandpa. But yeah, none of my family or friends think you're disrespectful in that. They thought it was
No.
hilarious.
It's
Well,
not disrespectful at all. Like if it,
No.
even if they were real remains, and if they were someone in your family or whatever, it's not anybody's fucking business. I mean,
Well, that's one of the things, I try to be respectful when it comes into the real world.
yeah.
Now, in the hunt industry, our job is to make you entertained and uncomfortable.
It's a
So-
suspension of disbelief.
So
That is
if you're
your little-
going
Your little
So if
area
you're-
of unreality.
right, so if I'm walking around and I have an urn and you ask me what's in it, and you can see that there is actually some dust or something coming out, it doesn't make you feel comfortable, I win.
Yeah, exactly. That's
If I
kind of
pour
the
it in
point.
my hand and give it to you and you just cringe, I win.
I feel like I need some context. Was this like someone that you know and interact with daily, or just a random person?
No, this was absolutely a random person that I was walking around and they're like, "What's in the jar?" And they said they thought it was funny, and they're like, "Is it a jar of dirt?" So I went, I opened it up, and I poured some out, and I put it in their hand. I said, "It's Grandpa. Take him fishing." And that's when the whole thing was, you are the most disrespectful person to dead at all.
So you were in character when it happened.
I was kind of in character, but wasn't.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So maybe fuck right off wasn't the right response. Maybe thank you with the big shit-eating grin and walking away would have been the good one.
I think it was more along the lines of, I made a person that haunts feel so uncomfortable that they had to say this to me.
It was a haunter? What
Yeah,
the
it was.
fuck? That makes it even more messed up on their part, dude.
But they were just like, no. It's like, yeah. But you know how my character is.
Yeah, and then you go to the dungeon and they eat and snort Grandpa, and it's completely different vibes. So that's crazy.
But that's the differences in different people and different haunts and this and that. So after that, they just kind of looked at it like, what should I do? I said, you can put him back in, and I said, I'll just take him to somewhere else and hand him out somewhere else.
Yeah.
And they're like, I just can't believe. And then I had to explain what makes Grandpa.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I thought that was legitly your grandfather, and you were disrespecting everything just by handing him out to total strangers. I said, no, I had a plan. I execute that part so well, and you've seen it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you know what? If you ever get the chance of seeing it in person, I hope you enjoy it too, because my character is one of
I'm the kind
my
of person
characters.
that I would be okay with being handed out, my ashes just being handed out to random strangers. I think that would, like, I don't know, kind of be on brand for me to just have someone hand out my ashes to random people. I think that, I know my own grandpa would have been down for that. He would have definitely been down for that.
My grandfather never really got to see me in the haunt industry as much as I am now.
Yeah.
My grandma, when she was suffering from dementia, started really seeing it, but she never really understood what the whole thing is. So those two have passed away. They will never be able to experience how good I am at what I do.
Right.
When we go and we talk about other people meeting me and talking to me, and it's just a oh my gosh moment, because people just don't understand why this is so important. But that's just unfortunately how it is. I mean,
oh yeah,
we're all going to live, we're all going to die. And you got a leg.
This is my
She's a
father-in-law.
leg up on the competition.
I was just about to say that.
Exactly. Yeah, this is my father-in-law. I
Okay.
believe they should be respected. He wanted to be a part of his kid's life, so I talked my the stepdad into giving him to my husband, the leg that is, because he's buried in town, but he wanted to throw it away, and I'm like, no, give it to Josh. But I would like to think every now and then just showing him on the shows, like, and joking around like he did, would give him the idea that even though he's passed, he's important.
Oh yeah.
It's all
Talking about haunt.
Yeah.
When we all look at honoring somebody be in the past and being part of your family, it's so important to understand that, giving the respect where respect is due. And when it comes down to the Day of the Dead in the Mexican relationship that they have, some of those people will actually take them out of their tombs, bring them back to the village, unwrap them, rewrap them with bandages, and bring them back to the tomb. I mean, others, they will put pictures up and present with skull candies and this and that. And this is all wonderful things because then you can go ahead. My grandfather went to the hospital on Christmas Eve. So Christmas Eve is really hard for us. Then for us to turn around and lose him on New Year's Eve. And I went to work that day. I respected my grandfather so much. I went to work because there's nothing I could have done that day.
Yep.
Now, did I have altercations and problems dealing with it? Maybe. There was one day I really remember, or there was one time during that day that I really remember, we had to move some furniture for some people. Well, when we moved the furniture, we were moving it down steps, and then we got to this other place, and we had to move it up steps. And these people just were kind of rotten with this. Well, when they were rotten with talking to us and they were kind of nasty to us and this and that, I kind of snapped at them. And they said, well, we'll get you fired and this and that. And I told them, I said, I don't think that's that bad today. So the guy I was working with looked at him and said, hey, his grandfather passed away today and he's not coping with it. At that time, my son, he was a year old and he was so much what I needed. And the circumstance was that the day of his funeral, I had him, but his mom came and took him before we actually got done with the lunch afterwards.
Gotcha.
And after that, I was heartbroken and I just went to work and kept on filtering my mind. And we all talk about coping and we all talk about being respectful and this and that. And I could never see you having a foot or a leg as being disrespectful because you constantly think of that. You constantly think of the person with it. It's not like you're going out to the baseball field and saying, hey, I'm going to shoot one over that fence. I don't think that would make a great bat, but I really don't think you would do it because that might not have been his thing.
No.
Definitely. I'm a couple days out from the anniversary of my dad's death. That's one of the reasons why I'm not a big holiday guy. Like I lost my brother a little bit before Thanksgiving and then my dad a little bit before Christmas. So it's like pretty much from September, because both their birthdays like mine were in September. From September
Right.
until the end of the year, if it weren't for haunts, I literally don't know what I would do with my life. Like I don't know what I would do.
And I really think that you have to find that way to cope with it because if you don't, it will eat you up. And some people play music, some people this and that. April's got a song that she listens to that makes her think of her mother.
Yeah.
And this song is just not exactly the song you would think of, but you know what? It works for her. So,
my song for my dad is "Fishing in the Dark" by the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band because it was one of his favorite songs of all
I love that
time.
song.
So every time that song's on, I'm like, "Don't turn the radio," or I'll just randomly play it sometimes.
I think of my grandfather when I watch Mr. Deeds because that is the last movie we watched together, and he laughs so hard when that guy goes, "Pooh."
Yeah.
I mean, they're checking the echo, and he laughed so hard. He just thought that was a great movie. So every time I see it, it's like, you know what? I hope everybody understands what kind of humor he had. And then I come to find out that he had such a great humor, and he was such a trickster at work. And I didn't know this. Like he was a setup man at a foundry, and he would take water cups and put it on top of this little bar for a forklift. The guy would get off the forklift, go to the bathroom, and leave the forklift there. Grandpa would stick a cup up there. So when the forklift took off, the water would flip back and dump it right on the guy. I didn't know that. I didn't know that Grandpa used to take grease and stick it underneath the door handles of the cars. I didn't know that he did all this stuff. I didn't know that he would weld tools to somebody's workbench. He would just go in there and spot. And, the person would have to go and get a wrench, and here the wrench ain't coming out. I did not know these things about my grandfather. So the things are, you will not know everything about that person's life, but you know so much about that person's life that you're grateful that you got the chance to know that person in their life.
Definitely.
And here I am taking up all the talking. I'm so sorry.
Don't be sorry. You're fine. This is a show about anything and everything today.
We're enjoying it because it's the alternate padded cell. All of our friends seem to be busy, but the thing is, padded cell is generally the Owlite thing. So I'm like, you know what? Let's do the Howard thing and put one of our favorite Howards up as the background.
Right.
And we're over here at the Corpse Garden because we'd walk around cemeteries, we'd walk around battlefields. I actually had one of my favorite things when I was a kid. We would go and do rubbings of the tombstones.
I used to
and
do
then
that
we'd
too.
go look at who the person was, and we'd write reports about them. So the dead is a very important part. My mom died on the 5th of October. He died, I think, Jerry died, I think, somewhere around the 18th. I'm not sure. I'd have to look up, but he died in October as well. The happy thing is my son was born on the 15th, so I tried to celebrate him more, and I just have not been that big of a fan of Christmas. I pretend for 3 people, but I
mentioned this in the last show, our Christmas office party thing. Like, I do not like the holidays. When I was young, I like the act of giving, hunting down like the perfect things for people, but I always felt weird getting things from people. So like, I've just not been a big holiday guy before all the tragedies that made me dislike it. But at the same time, even though I'm a crazy ass like hardcore Grinch, I'm still respectful around people who do like it. Like, we went out and looked at Christmas lights the other night. I was fine with that. That's what they wanted to do. I just sat in the car, drove around. I was super high and got hot chocolate, and that's what I was there for.
So
weed and hot chocolate.
The kids are what makes me do things. I will say that.
Yeah.
Kids make me do things. If it's not in the hot industry, the kid made me do it. If it's not agriculture, the kid made me do it. And I'll say that every single time. And I love my children because they get me off the couch, they get me to do stuff. And kudos to you, children. But my kids made me do things. Now that my son is 16, is exactly how I see my kid. And thumbs up, head down, and him playing video game. But I have a 5-year-old, and she makes me do things. Dad, look, there's a whole bunch of lights. Okay, we'll go see them. I got out of the car, and I'm like, well, at least this ain't super cold, and you're enjoying the lights. And if you don't know where I'm located, I am located near one of the most, I guess, I want to say important towns, cities in Ohio, but it just depends because you have Dayton, which is the Wright brothers, or you have Wapak, which is Neil Armstrong's. Neil Armstrong, if you don't know, he grew up in Wapakoneta, Ohio, and that is 10 miles north of where we are. And they put on a heck of a light display with everything space. It's got the planets, it's got this and that. It's got all the arm patches he had throughout the years at his museum that he has. And I haven't been in that museum for years, and my kids are making me do things. So
I had that with the Air
parent,
Force Museum at one point. Like, oh, we've never been to the Air Force Museum. I'm like, do you have any field trips I've been to here, how many times I have like lived in the museum because it's in Riverside. A million times. I'm good. But we haven't seen it. Fuck, okay, get in the car.
Let me point something out about the Air Force Museum. The way that they alter and change everything, and they get bigger stuff and this
They
and that,
do.
and they advance that so well.
It
In
took them a long
fact,
time to do that you have to understand, because there was one wing that was just
yeah.
planes you could walk to, and that was it. For the longest time, they would not change it. It wasn't
Mhm.
until, like, my sister's kids started growing up that they actually, for the first time in, like,
Right.
decades, like, really did anything, and since then, it's been, like, just constant.
But you know what? Where it is now is not where it was in the start.
Yep, yep.
And
Oh,
if
and
you go
you used to also be able to get on the tram to go to other buildings too back in the day.
right, right. And the thing is, if you go and you do your little research and check it out, it shows the whole history of that. And the funniest thing is, if you didn't know, um, uh, where's Foy's? Fairborn, right?
Airborne,
Yeah,
yep, yep.
Fairborn. Okay, right beside Foy's. And if you don't know what Foy's is here in Ohio, oh my gosh, it's amazing. It's a happy little world.
Yeah, it is. It's all
Of like
horror and horror
5
related.
stores, right?
Yep. 6 now, I think,
6? Okay.
technically.
So there's a place right beside of it that is Montgomery County Veterans Historical Society or something like that.
Mhm,
And it's free admission to go through and you get to see all the stuff. And it's not just Air Force, it is everything.
mhm.
And it's a great collection of stuff that actually was at the VA and they moved it.
Yep.
And me and my son went to go see this, and here we are talking about respectfulness and this and that. These people done it, and they have the fear that someone's going to go in there and see some of the stuff that they have, and they'll be like, "No, you guys can't have this." And the thing is, it's history. And what is the number one phrase that we always say with history? If you do not learn from history, you are doomed to repeat it, right?
Uh-huh.
Yep.
They actually have an entire selection of uh, items that are marked with Nazi markings.
Mhm. Air
Uh-huh.
Force Museum has a whole exhibit for it, like,
Right.
it's so well done. But I do like
And
that place you're talking about over by Foy's, though. I know all their stuff from the flood, from the big flood in Dayton back in the 20s, went to the
right,
downtown Dayton Public Library because there's a whole
right,
floor that's dedicated to just the flood. So I've been to that
right,
one, but that one, the Riverside Historical Society, and the downtown Dayton Library in the lower levels where all the museum stuff is.
right. And that's the thing, you know. And I will say this again. My kids made me do it. And when you get so old, you're like, oh, I just don't feel the same like I used to. But your kids make you do things, and your kids inspire you to go out and be better and do stuff. And this is something that me and Jaden like to do. We go out and we see this stuff and we love it.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many times I've been in the Air Force Museum. In fact, there's little collective coins. I think we got every single one of them.
Did you see what happened with they did that Steve Carell Space Force TV show? I don't know if you guys saw this
No.
on Netflix, but it's absolutely hilarious. Um, our previous presidency established the Space Force, which is like the Air
Yeah.
Force, but it's all space, right? Which is a pretty,
Right.
it's an interesting idea. I'll leave it at that. Well, they actually have all the people like up in the Air Force Base. There's actually a listing of all the actual people that were
Right.
appointed as part of Space Force. But when the TV show came out, someone went and printed out this really good picture of Steve Carell as his character in Space Force with a little thing about him, like his actual character's name and everything, and went and covered up the person in charge of Space Force with that picture and that little plaque. And it was left that way for a couple of days because no one noticed
Oh,
until someone came in and took a picture and put it online. And then they went back and fixed it. But there for a couple of days, Steve Carell's character was the leader of Space Force as posted at the Air Force Museum.
that's hilarious. But
It was
that's the thing. I mean, Space Force is so new, Jaden was losing his mind because here's the marker that the president used to sign into Space Force.
Yeah, they've got that.
Jaden thought that was amazing. He took pictures of this, and he took pictures of him right beside it, and this and that. And that's the thing. We all need to look at things that we're doing now and things that were done in the past, because one of these years somebody's just going to be like, well, I guess I never knew. I mean, how many people can you go up to at a college and ask, what president did this or what president did that or this and that? I love watching those shows that, you just get the microphone. Excuse me. Can you tell me who this is? Isn't that? No, it's not. And that's the comical thing for me to watch this, because I know it. I'm educated. I can't read worth crap, and I'm sorry. I know you guys love books. I cannot read books.
Just call me a bedtime. I'll read them to you.
You want?
That's why we have videos up.
What's that?
We have videos up for you to listen to the books, to our stories.
Right. And I love listening to books. I love doing this and that. That's why I bought a new laptop. That way I can use my laptop to redo my book, because that's frustrating to me.
Hey, Mariah.
Hi. The story of my life right there.
Yeah.
You know what? I think that's the story to a lot of people's lives, actually.
Well, I want to start doing something we were talking about wanting to do in the future, which was to play like a halfway through the show sort of ad. And I thought this could be a quick, it's only an hour, Jesus. It's a minute and 30 seconds long, so it's not crazy long, but this will split things up a little bit. It's the ad that I was talking about in the beginning of the show that I made for the haunt this weekend. That's out on Facebook, and it's making its way everywhere. So I thought this would be a good, midpoint. I just gotta find it because I uploaded it. I just gotta play it for you guys. And there we go.
It stopped.
I'm the father of Christmas, call me Papa Noel. I'm here to kick your ass in this dungeon of hell. I'm in holidays, and my ambitions are lofty. Your Christmas pop won't you, like leg lamps or frosty.
What's the matter, Nick? Tired of malls? I'll kick your ass throughout these unhallowed halls. Come Christmas time, I'm the one they fear. I keep haunting business with my holiday cheer.
Your history is a real mystery, but it's clear to me you got it, PT. Because you changed your face more times than Bruce Wayne. You've got more characters than Mark Twain.
The spirit of Christmas is dead, it's gone too commercial. You're all about the money, but yet I'm controversial. Keep running your mouth, I'll put your elf on my shelf. I'll slay all 9 of your reindeer myself.
These rhymes are sick. I'm the OG Saint Nick. You've got a stack and a stick, but you can't rap with a shit. Bow down to me because I'm the Christmas MC. A holiday without me would be a trap.
I'm the reason for the season, for whom the bell tolls. You're still handing out peppermint stripper poles. Like every naughty little kid, I'll shove your ass in my sack. Hey, the pagans coffee was the holiday pack.
This is like the 5th, 6th time I've watched that. And let me just tell you, in the future going on with this, see if you can figure out a way to get their voices a little louder.
So the thing is, I wasn't there. I didn't film it. It wouldn't have been a problem had I have. Bakisha was, because I threw my back out and I had to have the footage. So she was cool enough to go down there with her phone and like film everything for me. So like, yeah, that it was a time thing, but usually if I'm there, I've got ways to do that a little bit better. And that was after I spent probably almost 20 hours. That's probably after I spent like 20 hours editing the audio to make it like that.
Okay.
Somebody wanted to show you their new Dino Jammies.
Oh,
And
love it.
Dude, I'm digging those.
I want some.
say, hi, this is Tay. Say hi. It's Kyle and it's Raz.
Bye.
Good night, baby boy.
Wow.
Showing off
I
the
have-
keys. Yes.
There's a key
It's
to
funny.
the
It just
corpse
goes
garden.
back. All I thought was, help me, I've fallen and I can't get up.
Yeah. No, I'm super proud
He
of that
missed the
video
cord
because
by
I've been
accident.
talking about wanting to do some like epic rap battles for a while, and I've got some written for later, like later in the season to do.
Right.
But like I wanted to do a Christmas one, and I actually wrote all of that myself. Didn't consult anybody. I just sat down for a couple days and wrote the shit out of it. So I got to write it. I got to do like everything for this one, and it's really special to me because Fred's been really letting me mess with his comfort zone on things and kind of push things farther. And it's to the point now where I know him so well and he knows me so well. He can just be like, I trust you. I know you're not going to take it too far. I know you'll hit a line at some point in time, but you won't cross it. And I know it will
Right.
be within, the theme and the point of who we are as unique individuals. All right.
So, you know what? Since we're bringing this up, I have a really good question here.
Yeah.
What kind of things are my crew was asking? Are we like putting on our costumes and we'll go ahead and just kind of Christmas them up, or what
That's
are
fine.
we doing?
Yeah, that's
And
fine.
I said, yeah, I think that would be perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And then somebody asked me if I should bring one of my red suits. And I said, I don't even know.
Yeah, so we have a Santa that's our only Santa, and we have a Krampus that's our only Krampus. We have
Okay.
it set up. We have some people dressing up as some horror characters from the Rudolph claymation special from back in the day. We
Ooh.
have the naughty elves. We have the naughty kids that are trying to escape Krampus. We have the Christmas demons, but we also have people in their own haunt costumes, just like with a Santa hat or some bells and lights, or just Christmas it up a little bit.
I've got a shirt. I love it. It's a zombie gingerbread man.
We have a killer gingerbread man too. I just found out. My nephew Evan. I just got a picture of it, and he is with our buddy Cameron, who is like the horror Nutcracker soldier.
Right.
So we got some weird things up there.
Wait, hold on here. And I believe that Giggles is coming.
My understanding, he's coming at least one night.
Yeah, I told him, I said, why are you only doing one? He goes, oh, I don't want to do too much. And I said, so you're telling me you're only going to be there Saturday? He goes, yeah, probably.
Yeah, that's what.
But you have Re-Rex that's coming. You have
Yep.
Jester that's coming from mine. You've got Chainer that's coming. You've got Stitch Kid, which is also Nibbles the Clown. He's returning to come.
Nice.
And then you've got 3 others that
cool.
They're not sure exactly what's going on or anything like that, but they wanted to come down. They wanted to see how this is, and and I'm excited about that one. I'm excited to see if I can be part of your guys's Valentine's Day when you guys do your Valentine's Day.
Yeah, you don't have to see; just assume that you're invited.
What's that?
You're just invited to everything we do, man. Like that's an open, like 100%. Like just show up. You don't have to tell us; just show up.
Well, I also want to go back over to Carnage to do their Love Is Dark.
Yeah, I just saw the ad for that.
They're doing a glow stick.
Yep.
Lights off. Here's a glow stick, and you go through. And I'm like,
that's something I've been trying to talk Fred into for a while. We do our dark differently.
Yeah. And I really like how you guys do your guys' stuff. Really like how they do their stuff.
Yeah,
I want to
everybody's
get back.
Got a unique spin, man.
Right, and the thing is, so I'll talk to you more about this, but the van is going to get wrapped. We know it's going to get wrapped.
Yeah.
On
the
back,
I got for you if you need it.
Oh, me and you's going to talk about this. But what we were thinking is putting Chainer's Field of Screams down the side. And then it's going to have a black bar go towards the back, and then going in the middle of it is going to be the OHA symbol.
Nice. I love it.
And then on the back doors, one door, it's going to say our haunt friends, and that's when I need a section, and it's going to be 3 different sections, and one is going to be Haunt Town Hall, Hell's Dungeon, and Carnage.
That's super cool, man. You could do like a tic-tac-toe grid. That way you can add more as you go.
Well, yeah, I plan on doing that. It's just if I go and I do it like this right now and we see how this gets played, I want to see how this gets played.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
I mean,
I love
it's not going to be hard to redo a
Just one
wrap
door.
on a door.
Yeah.
So we want to do that, and I want to talk to your guy because you said you got somebody that might want to help us out with this, and that would be awesome. And the biggest thing is, as soon as that gets done and everything gets awesome with the van and we're all good with it, there's actually going to be a rack that gets put on top, and it's going to have amber and white and amber and green LEDs along with spotlights.
Nice.
We've already figured out the components with this and that. And hopefully there's not a topic tonight, because I just totally drowned that out of the topic.
No, we didn't have a topic, man. You're good. That's cool as shit. Like, we got some people coming from some other places too. Giggles, obviously, he's a travel hunter these days, but we got people from USS Nightmare. We have people from the Schoolhouse, from Det. We have people from Kings Island. People from Scream Park.
Is it this weekend?
Is it? I didn't think theirs was this weekend. There's only one person we have that's potentially coming from that.
I'm looking that up.
Yeah, we got some Scream Park folks, some Face Your Fear people. Twitchy's actually coming, and his dad is coming semi out of retirement to act with him at the haunt for the first time in years. So there's a lot of cool stuff. Yeah, we got a lot of cool stuff. People coming, man.
That's
people that
awesome.
used to work for us that aren't haunting right now that are just coming back to haunt with us just for Christmas. Like, I even have sections because I had to go through with our section leads, and we do this draft, kind of draft people to sections because it's fun. And I have spots in each section that just say guest, because I wanted to leave like scenes in different places already planned to be open for guests.
So I do want to point something out. Mia said something the other day, and there's a scene that I really like at your guys' Hell's Dungeon. I always thought it was awesome. And I come to find out that Mia's got it, or Mia had it, and she sent it to you.
The grinder?
The grinder.
Yes. And there's a plaque on top that says that it comes from Carnage.
That's what she said. And I was like, I didn't pay attention to that.
Yep.
All I paid attention to was the morph suit girl around it.
Dude, honestly, before, like, when we first got the grinder, we didn't have a lot of great things going on in the grinder. So, like, it was easy to see it. But ever since we got Jay, man, like, her character Critter, that's what she calls it. Like, it's a showstopper. It, like, overshadows everything over there. It's brilliant. But there's actually pin lights pointed right to the plaque also.
Right.
So it's highlighted, but she's just so good at keeping your attention that it's hard to hit little details sometimes.
So Carnage, or no, my bad. Hell's Dungeon is this weekend. Carnage was last weekend. Dent Schoolhouse, 8th and 9th. That was last weekend.
I was going to say, yeah, I thought it was already. Yeah. And the Middletown one was 2 weekends ago.
Yep. And Fear Columbus is doing theirs again this weekend, the 15th, 16th, and 17th.
Yep.
So if you like going on a Sunday, you can go on a Sunday.
Yep, because we don't do Sundays. Well, we do like 1 or 2 Sundays a year. That's it.
Brimstone. Brimstone is this Saturday also.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Uh-huh.
Well, see, you can come to us Friday, Brimstone Saturday, Fear Columbus Sunday. That's 3 haunts, 1 a night.
Huntville Haunted House, they are this weekend also.
See, there's a lot you guys can come down to Ohio and check out in different places.
Yeah, Norwalk,
Oh, I forgot about Norwalk too. Yeah.
or Newark.
Yeah, it's Newark. It's
Newark.
Newark, Ohio. Yeah, yeah.
Yep. There's that reading issue right there. I can't even spit it out. Jail of Terror is doing theirs on the 16th. And you know what?
Pretty much every
It-
section of Ohio, like every region of Ohio, has at least one haunt going this weekend.
Yeah, and the average price is about $25.
Yep. And ours comes in as a nice 18.
Yeah, yours is 18. The jail is 17.
See, we got our event up on Groupon though, and they've got like the whole local special right now. So if you go and get the tickets on Groupon, you get like 15 or 20% off or something like that through Groupon. We get the full price, but they take the hit for their promotion stuff. So
Oh,
like that's actually a cheaper way to go.
there you go. There you go.
We've gotten real good with that, like Living Social, Groupon, like a bunch of different ones where we've been getting onto, getting our customers up.
Yeah. Akron Haunted Schoolhouse and Laboratory.
And let me tell you,
never been
that's a
there.
fucking institution. That has been around forever. It's one of the older haunts in Ohio, to be honest.
Yeah.
One of the longer
that
ones,
was
it's really good.
that was last weekend, and I'll tell
Yeah.
you know what? I want to say last weekend was amazing. It was such a blast from the past to be able to do some of the stuff. I don't get to do haunts very much and actually work or scare at haunts because I own one. But let me just point out that Columbus has got something, and
Oh, thanks,
I
Steven.
could. Yeah. That was last weekend. I could not be more happier at how last weekend went just because there was one restaurant I wanted to go to and I
Which one?
finally made it.
Was it a Denny's?
It was not Denny's.
Oh, I miss Denny's so bad.
Yeah, there are still Denny's around, but
There's
no.
a couple
Oh,
in
no.
Ohio.
Dude, I used to have that shirt. I
Yes.
used to have that shirt.
I think I did too. Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. That was
Yeah, they
when I
wanted
was
it.
actually considered a skinny kid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I do
it's
remember that
literally
shirt.
honestly that old, but what do you do when your kids say, "Hey, I want that?" It's like, okay, whatever.
It's awesome. It's a good shirt.
You just make it happen.
It's a good
What
Oh,
choice.
yeah.
do. Remember, kids just make you do things.
Yep.
Exactly. And
The
this
devil
one has
made me
made
do it.
me do a lot.
Instead, the devil made me do it in defense. It's the kids made me do it in defense.
Yeah.
Same thing.
So the place I gotta go to was
Ponderosa.
Ponderosa.
Oh man, I miss Ponderosa so much. I always forget that there's one over there.
Right
Okay.
here. Okay.
If we're going to advertise anything,
you go.
it's advertising that Ponderosa. Because I'll tell you what, it had such a great buffet
Good night, love
on
books.
it. It was so big and it was so keep on flowing. I was amazed. Like, I grew up Ponderosa.
Same. It was Ponderosa and Ryan's Steakhouse. That's what we had a million. And the OCB. We can't forget Old Country Buffet because those were the three right there. If you wanted a buffet or steaks or something on top of your buffet, that's where you went. We got Golden Corral these days, which I'm a big fan of, but like those were the old school.
So
We don't
if you
have one
came from-
anymore.
if you came from the Miami County area, the Montgomery County area, the Shelby County area, the Dark County area,
Green,
or one of these areas, I will tell you right now, you probably got the opportunity years and years ago to go to Duff.
Oh my God, Duff Smorgasbord. It was a mechanical giant wheel that rotated, so you had to like follow it to get your.
You were in these little stalls, and you're like, "Oh, here comes the mashed potatoes."
Oh shit! I gotta wait for it to come back around to get the rest of it.
And you're like, "Oh, here we go again." I mean, it would feed it back into the kitchen, and they would redo it. And I remember this because they had trays. They didn't just have plates; they had trays along with your plates. That way, you could go and. Oh my gosh, I am such a fat kid for remembering this.
No, that was the greatest place ever. And what I love is like through the week, like the weekdays, if you went, the wheel was a little slower, so you had a little more time. But on the fucking weekends, that wheel was just like, I think they did it to screw with people. I think they would just change the speed of the wheel to mess with people to see how quickly they would follow around to get through.
Oh my gosh. So I want to point out that there was a restaurant, and I can't remember, and it was a little place, and it was just north. No, it was south of 70, right off I-75. New York or Newark or something like that. Pizzeria took over, but it
Oh,
was Damien's or something.
yeah, Damien's. Damien's was good,
It had the best ribs.
dude. Yes,
It did. It did. When Ponderosa picked up and said, "Buy Shelby County
Yeah.
and buy Miami County," we started going down there for my birthday, and I remember getting a rack of ribs. And now we go to Texas Roadhouse, which
Oh, yeah,
that
Texas
doesn't
Roadhouse.
look like it's going anyplace. And I'm telling you now, I'm such a fat guy with Texas Roadhouse. I look at them and go, when they go, "Hi, what can I get you? Can you go check and see if the butcher's in the back? Because yeah, there's a 32-ounce steak that's needing to come right here." And I I feel bad because everybody's like, "Oh, you'll never finish that." And it's like, "Oh, is that a challenge?"
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we need to have a food night
We
where we
should,
just
yeah.
talk about random food. Like Hooters down in Dayton used to do on Mondays, all you could eat wings. And my personal
Oh no,
limit
they
or
still
my
do
first
that. They still do that. It's just
no,
they brought it back just within the last year, but now it's not all the time. It's not every Monday. Now they just do it like for special things. So they still do have special things. They changed it. The normal like ongoing one is like 50-cent wing night or something like that. But they do have the special thing that they do with
when this happens, me and you,
that.
I don't come for the women. I come to make the cook very angry
Dude, as
because
someone who's
I
worked in
had
film and
40
music, I've seen boobs so many times that I'm literally also just there for the wings. Like I've seen it all, man.
I
I'm not that interested.
okay, great story. And if you ever talk to my wife, you can ask her about this story. Okay. So we went down there on a Monday and they said, "Hi, it's all you can eat wings for this price. Just remember, you can't take them with you." Oh, I'm taking them with me. It's just not in a to-go container.
Right.
So they're like, "Okay, well, we'll bring them out in tens." I said, "Awesome." And as soon as I start going and I start in the first 10, I looked at her. I said, "Tell the cook I've come to compete." And she looked at me and she goes, "What?" I said, "Oh, yeah." And I said, "You might as well just go ahead and go back there and go get some more going." So she got another rack going. And as soon as I finished it, the next 10 came out. My wife got done with her food. All of our friends got done with their food. We were laughing, we are joking. My wife's like, can we go?" So her and one of my friends went across the street to the Goodwill, went there, spent quality time at Goodwill for like a half hour, 45 minutes, comes back, and dumbass me is still freaking plowing these damn wings. And you're going to laugh your ass off about this, but you ask her when the woman comes out and she goes, "Are we done?" I said, "Oh, I still got some room." My wife goes, "No, you're done. You are done." I said, "No." I said, "Honey, you don't understand. That was only 49 wings. And clearly and she goes, "You got 49 wings. Shut up. We're going home." I was like, my wife actually told me to stop feeding my face. I starved myself all day just to do this.
I do that
I was
with
going to make myself miserable to prove a point.
I do that with Golden Corral, and I have this thing where like, hey, watch the table for a minute. I'll go outside and have a cigarette and sit there for a minute and digest. I'll pop in the car and smoke a bowl. Then I'll go back and I'm like, all right, I'm hungry again. Let's go. Let's do this.
Really?
Yeah, but I found out you can go to Sam's Club and get gift certificates for Golden Corral that makes it cheaper to go to Golden Corral. So like anytime we go to Sam's Club and we buy that stuff. It makes it like $15-$20. No, it's like 20 something dollars cheaper for us all four to go just by doing this.
Really?
So yeah. So we go there, buy those, then we use them there, get our drinks and everything, and then we'll just sit down for hours and just talk and eat and take breaks outside.
Raz,
Yeah,
Raz, we need to have a date night.
we do. We totally
I'm just telling you right now. Don't tell no one else. It's just me and you.
All right.
And we just need to go and have a foodie night.
I'm down with that.
Okay.
I'm definitely down with that.
I'm seriously going to have a medical coma from fatness. But we're going to make this. But don't tell her. I don't want her to know.
Don't tell Jenny.
Does
No judging,
your
please.
wife know I exist? Is that a problem?
No, that's not the problem. The problem is I don't want you judging.
I'm not judging. I brought the keys to the cemetery. We don't judge here.
Yeah. She knows where all the bodies are buried, literally.
You know, I just did this whole
I
thing.
get the place for the bodies to be buried.
I did that entire thing, and I just looked up, and I was like, "Oh yeah, we're live."
That's how you know you're enjoying yourself sometimes with shows like this. Like, I mean, other than the ad at the beginning, like usually if like anything like padded cell or Corpse Garden related like this, we don't do a lot of ads. Like the haunt one was just because I made it and I'm proud of it. Really, normally I wouldn't have even shown that during this. But,
Oh,
like,
I'm all for that being added.
yeah, I'm just
We
saying.
don't
I mean,
care.
we don't like
Ooh.
promote a lot of stuff. Like, we just have conversations on stuff like this because this, while we do enjoy you listeners at home, and obviously we will keep up your comments. Shows like this are more for us to blow off steam and to enjoy each other's company. And then you never know, we might talk about something that generates your interest.
And make dinner plans. Apparently,
Yes.
Oh, I hope you guys have the best night out ever of all time.
no. We are taking photos. We are taking videos. And I will tell you right now, if we go to El Toro,
Oh, fuck.
that's going to be a horrible place for me because if I get what?
I want one where you guys have a selfie together. That's all I want.
Oh, we can. You
Oh,
know
yeah.
what?
I've never
know
taken
what?
a selfie like myself. I've been in selfies, but I've never actually taken one myself.
You know what? Here, I'm going to do one up here. Okay, I'm taking a selfie right now of us three. Everybody smile. I'm posting now on Facebook just so everybody knows I got more than one friend.
We'll have to do a selfie this weekend.
Oh yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. If we do that food adventure, we need to make videos. We need to do all that
There we go.
and compile it all together.
That'd be
And
hilarious.
then you can show it on one of these nights.
That'd be hilarious. I'd like that.
Do I need to wear a wig?
No.
It's gonna let me get
We're
some money
fine
out.
with your current hair.
I mean, I can make a wig out of blue tape.
It's true.
Yeah.
We didn't,
I'll be
we didn't
like-
discuss the quality of the wig. We just said it was a wig. Just to be clear.
Right.
It's like, does it look enough like a wig in hot lighting? Okay, we're good.
There you go.
I'm getting pinged.
Nice.
I wonder what. Oh, I'm
It's
sure
me.
somebody's. Oh,
Surprise.
I'm on my phone tonight because my computer said no to the internet, and I can do a lot of things with my phone.
That's awesome. So I've almost finished upgrading my computer. I've now maxed the RAM. Did some surgery, moved some things around in there that I didn't like. It's running like so much fucking faster now. And then I had some SSD drives. I have a couple of them actually, but I found out they don't actually plug into the port inside my computer because it's a form factor, so it's too small. So what I did was I got an external USB hub and enclosure that I can literally connect it to the USB-C 1 port on my computer. And if I want to, I can move my editing program and my operating system literally over to the external and run my entire computer also through the external, which will boost my speed by like another 30-40%. So I'm
That's
looking
a
into
lot.
that now. I've got the hub and enclosure already. And it also lets me plug any memory card or device or USB or anything into this port and immediately copy it right over to my SSD, which I thought was super nice. So I got that now. I got to get the balls to fuck with programming because I haven't screwed with operating operating external operating systems like ever. So I'm gonna
Now remember, one of the key factors to build a good computer, modifying a computer, is making sure that you have enough airflow.
Oh yeah, and there's plenty of airflow. It was a pre-built computer I'd gotten like 4 or 5 years, like actually like 5, 6 years, no, about 4 or 5 years ago, and it's like a mid-tier VR computer. And the way it was made, it's a smaller tower, so when you get parts for it, they've got to be the smaller parts. One, because the bigger parts may not fit. Two, it's because the way it's designed for the airflow. And I also leave the open side off on my computer, which is not great because I'm a smoker, but the smoke's going to get into the computer even if I've got the sight on it. I assure you, I smoke too much. So I've kind of got that open and moderated. And I'm in the basement, so it stays pretty cool down here, but not so cold that it'll hurt anything. So it's got a pretty good running temperature and environment down here. I'm actually thinking about overclocking things because of how like cool it is down here.
I know a lot of people that have really, really awesome computers, and they go and they're like, "Oh yeah, my flow, this and that." One of my friends has a computer that has 3 fans on it, and 2 of them, one will start as soon as that computer comes on. The first one pulls.
Mm-hmm.
Then once it gets so much use, it will go ahead and the second one will kick on.
Yep.
The third one never kicks on. And I asked him, what's the purpose? And he goes, because one of those 2 fans is going to fail.
Yep.
And when it fails, that is what's going to save my computer.
Yep.
Because it will tell my computer, hey, one of these have failed, and now I've got to figure out which one failed.
Yep.
He has a dog, and the dog always lays right beside the computer. The dog was what made the computer fan fail because the fur.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So I know when you're talking about the smoke, I know what you're talking about, because what you don't think about, that fan will suck it in.
Uh-huh. Yep. I get the cat hair issues once in a while. I got to go in there and clean up. And that was happening with the case completely on.
As long as your motherboard doesn't turn yellow.
Right.
Because if it turns yellow, it's got way too much secondhand smoke.
Oh yeah. You gotta watch out for that.
And
my roommate's got a liquid cooled, because a lot of computers, the faster ones that you can overclock and do crazy gaming and shit with, do the liquid coolant system. And eventually, I'm gonna get a much nicer computer than what I've got. Like the one I got is actually really nice, but I'm looking for certain aspects and things that I want to do. But we're talking at this point in time, that's gonna be like a $5,000 to $10,000 computer system. So like it's gonna be a while before I can afford anything like that, if ever, in my life.
If you've got the money, it's awesome. If you don't, you know, you'll find a way to make something work.
Oh yeah. So like I've had this dream computer in mind. There was a great Keanu Reeves movie back in our day called Johnny Mnemonic, where he was a courier for information. He had a data port in his brain, and he would transfer. Yeah, it's an action movie.
Is that Johnny 5?
No.
Oh,
that's Short Circuit.
You're
Keanu Reeves movie.
Right. But you said Johnny, and he's looking for. I'm like, is that crazy robot? Like
no, I love me some Short Circuit. But in Johnny Mnemonic, when he's realizing what the information he has in his brain, he goes to the rebel characters, and they have this computer system that's called Heaven, with a giant 3-tiered monitors and the dock bays and all that stuff. That is the computer that I want to rebuild, but for modern times. For some reason in my brain, like that is the computer system to have, and it always has been since that movie came out. I don't know why, but my brain has been not asphyxiated, Jesus, affixed on this concept of the Heaven computer, so much so that I finally have a system that'll actually at least do 2 monitors. So for the first time in my life, since I moved and set up this office, I actually have 2 different monitors, but I found out how to do a third. I just don't have. I have to get the other half of my desk, because the desk I bought is like an L-shaped desk, but the way it's made is I can get a second of these desks and make an entire U, or 3 more and make an O, like a giant, like super desk. So eventually I'm gonna have 4 of these desks in a giant room, and it's just gonna be me in chairs, like moving around and doing different things everywhere, because for some reason that sounds very oddly appealing to me. I'm weird, man.
And I'm just happy over here with my Lenovo gaming laptop.
Well, I don't have
And
that kind of room here at all to do that. I got room for one of these desks, maybe a second for a U, but I don't know how I'd even get into the desk to use it in that case. But one day I'll have a bigger space.
I got an answer for you on that. Do some research into Jim Henson.
Oh, I love me some Jim Henson, dude.
Because
Absolutely.
there was a U desk for Sam the Eagle.
Yes, there was.
And if they can stick a puppet in one, you can get in it.
Well, it's the space that I have here because I'm between the wall and the furnace, and I'm out as far as I can go with the L part of it, and I can get a second L if I moved everything down, because there might be enough room for that. It's just there's not a lot of depth here to this wall, but right here behind me. There's more than it looks on the camera, but not much more.
Well, here's the wall. Okay, everybody can see the wall.
Yeah, we have that same freak show sign in the freak show actually at our home.
Here's my next wall. Okay.
Yep.
This board here, little Photoshop here. This is not a wall. That's actually mounted from the ceiling. It really is.
I love that. That's cool though, man.
Everything that is over this way, there's a pathway. There's a desk here, right here, right there is a table, shelving units. There's a cot in case I like almost pass out, and it's like, I just need to lay down for a little bit, and I just don't want to go upstairs. Or I pissed off the wife and I'm sleeping downstairs.
See, we just moved our whole room down here because we're living with a friend of ours. Like 4 of us are living with a friend of ours and his kid. So like we were all in beds in the living room for like the first, I don't know, like 4 or 5 months we lived here. But recently I convinced the wife, hey, let's have our own room and move it to the basement where my office is. So we just kind of have things like sectioned around the basement, but it's a very small basement anyway. It's a small unfinished basement. So we've had to kind of go in and clean things up and move things around. So like literally over here, I can go like this and wheel my chair and just eject myself into the bed over here. It's fantastic. I don't have to go far at all to do school, work, or bed.
Oh, I wish this was that other camera. If it was the other camera,
I'm the weirdo.
What's that?
I'm the weirdo in the closet.
Dude, when I lived at that apartment, that last apartment that I was at, my initial office was in the closet because it was kind of a big. It wasn't quite a walk-in, but it was a bigger closet, which was enough for me to have like a student desk in there and my laptop and a chair and all that. But I smoke a lot, and I had fans and stuff in there and candles in there. But I found out it was just too small of a space, and it was reflecting the sound so hard because I think it was a little smaller than the one that you're in.
Possibly.
So this right here is my son's bedroom, right above me.
You ever just get up and not beat on the floor sometimes just to mess with him?
I was doing a video chat with somebody, and he went and was doing stuff upstairs, and I'm like, what are you doing? And all of a sudden, he comes running downstairs, and he goes, Dad, did you hear any of that? I said, yes, I did. And I'm not quite sure what it is. You don't know what it is? Nope. He goes, okay, good. Because you don't want to. Excuse me. Did you at least clean it up? Whatever it was. Love my kid. I love my kid, and I can joke with him. And I will tell you right now, I'm the type of parent that looks at him and goes, we're going to have a good day. Quit being a dick.
Mm-hmm.
And my son looks at me. I don't like being called a dick. I said, well, that's easy. You just don't be a dick.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Don't be a dick roll.
I feel like that should be a disclaimer. Just don't be a dick.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like
go out.
My
have a great day. By the way, just don't be a dick.
Yeah. Yep.
somebody's going to watch this video and they're going to be like, man, this guy is like messed up.
I mean, at least 3 people have been watching it live since we started, so.
Oh.
As far as I'm concerned, you're not very much more messed up if you are any more messed up than I am.
Well, let's say I don't want to go for the gold championship on the messed up level.
I don't either. That is not the goal.
So if you're going to have a goal in life, I feel like goals are one of those things, and this is going to be me being a parent here. If you're going to have a goal, I think that goals are great. Number one, if you're going to have this goal, take in consideration of what you're trying to achieve and make sure that it's achievable for you.
Yeah.
Okay. You need to also take that goal and make sure that it makes you a better person.
Yeah.
And it pushes you. Okay.
Definitely.
That being said, don't go around and say, my goal for today is to absolutely destroy everything I've ever done. It's not going to be achievable for you unless you're really, really good at it and you end up in prison.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
So, if there's any advice I could ever give my son, and I've told him this, set a goal, push yourself, show everybody what you're capable of. Do not take too many steps back. That being said, you can take steps back, but do not go backwards too far because then you're going to lose all your momentum to go forwards.
Yep, that's true.
I told him it's possible to take 3 or 4 steps back and stop and look and reevaluate and improvise and adapt and then try to overcome and find a way to either change the goal enough for it to work with the new happenstance of what's happening or move forward as you were but with different steps in the path.
That's very true.
I love inspirational words. I love inspirational sayings. I love inspirational people. Raz, Maximus, right?
Of course, yes. Love me some Max.
Have you ever seen Maximus do his Snapchat?
A couple times, yeah.
Okay. He said something the other day, and it just clicked in my mind, how we don't look at the world just like everybody else, and we never will. Because he said something today, maybe perhaps I am the person that is looking at this color of red, and you are looking at the color red, but your red is different than my red. And the reason that it's different is because the way we're looking at it. But we both grew up looking at this and knowing that's the color red.
Right.
Understanding that you are different than I am different than you. Jen, you're different from me too,
Yeah, no, I had a thing to add on.
Oh, go ahead.
So this, to me, I'm going to say to me, is a very dark purple, like royal purple fuzzy blanket. Okay?
Okay.
What color do you guys see?
Plum purple.
Fair enough. I see. I guess I just see purple. I don't have.
Yeah, but you see that it's purple.
Right.
So I found like colorblind or color, they don't see colors the same way that we do. So I'm a resident. I was a CNA. Been CNA or working in CNA life, the majority of my life, CNA work, and I had a resident. And the purple blanket, his wife saw it as brown. And if it was taken away to be washed, she'd ask what happened to the brown blanket. And I didn't see a brown blanket anywhere. And then it came back, and I'm like, okay, please tell me which one's the brown blanket, ma'am. And she's like, that one. And she points to the purple blanket. I'm like, okay, that's helpful. I can work with that here forward. Because my goal was to make sure they were both comfortable with the care he was getting.
Right.
But the problem was, yes, we all see colors, but sometimes we just have to agree that it's a blanket, and that blanket is important.
Yep.
And it's not always going to be the same color. So sometimes we just have to agree for that person you're trying to take care of, that bunny, that whatever, or you can't see why that person's goal is important, but it's important, and you have something to offer. Help them get to it. So, yeah.
This reminds me of a special moment in the movie UHF with Weird Al Yankovic, where Stanley the janitor has finally had enough of life, and he runs in the studio and grabs a mop, and he starts this whole monologue about how, you know what, life is kind of like a mop. And it cuts the scene with bars all over town and businesses just watching the TV on the UHF channel going, yeah. It's like that inspirational, like, big moment. And for some reason, I'm getting that whole the Stanley version of it, where it's like, you got this mop. Sometimes it gets dirty, and you just gotta wring that shit out.
I don't know if it's supposed to be that big. It's just my thought addition to it.
While she's over there holding up the filleted skin of Grimace. That's why they trotted him out for his birthday and gave him one last celebration, because Jenny murdered him and skinned him for a blanket after.
Did you ever watch?
Grimace's skin for my birthday.
Did you ever watch the animation? It's like called The Secret Behind the McRib.
No, I have not seen it.
It is a McDonald's employee and his manager, and they're all like talking about the grimace. And they go into the playland, and they find out that there is plenty of female grimaces, but it is so hard to find a male grimace. Well, this female grimace gives birth to a couple females and one male. And as soon as they give birth, and only the grimace can only give one birth. Okay. So whatever comes out of that, as it goes along, they were so happy that the grimace was a boy. And he goes and he says, okay, now it's time to harvest the grimace. And you see the Hamburglers come in, and they're chopping up grimace, and goes out the door, and the manager goes, the McRib is back. So
that is messed up.
I'm thinking this when she's holding that up, and you said the skinned grimace.
Oh my god!
Watch this now.
I find that, I swear, Raz, I'm sending that to you.
Please do. I will watch this shit.
Please send me too.
I will. I'll be like, dude, hold on. Who is I sending this to? Okay, it's going to take about 15 minutes for me to remember. I remember now. But it's so funny, just because you watch this whole thing and you're just like, what did I watch? What's wrong with people?
Yeah.
Hey, Raz.
Just realized I had a cough, yeah. There's this one really super weird commercial. It's made like a 90s commercial. Like, it mixes like every version of a 90s commercial you can imagine. Product placements for like pizza, kids playing football, but it's like a horror thing that someone made, to where like when the kids transport somewhere else because the juice they drank or whatever, like the 90s commercial set up, suddenly they come back wrong and they form this giant amorphous monstrous blob that just starts eating and killing everyone in town. But they keep doing different commercials, and the monster just keeps showing up and eating people. It's such a weird thing. I'm gonna have to find that and send it to you guys too. I can't remember what it's called, but oh my god, dude, it is so messed up. Reminds me of some Guar commercial shit.
Yeah, please, because I'm like curious. I think he's looking it up.
So I'm trying to find this grimace that I was talking about, but I do want to point out that I went onto YouTube, And it is so weird for me looking at me on YouTube when I'm searching something. Like I just pulled it up and it said, "Oh, well, these people are doing something," and I'm like, "That's so weird." I'm staring at myself, looking at my phone.
It looks like it's a commercial for a product called Liquid Slam. It's promoting their big game line of snacks and sugary beverages, and it's like that's the kind of like the whole setup of the company slash commercial this is for. But I did just find the information for it. They have like uncensored versions of it. Um, behind the scenes looks at it, like all kinds of really cool shit you can find about it. But Liquid Slam is what you're looking for.
Okay,
Also
cool.
listed under every 90s commercial ever. That's the other title it's listed under. But yeah, I'll send one of them to you guys, like in our
Thank you.
chats, you know.
That works.
I care about you guys so much.
And I found it by
hope so.
accident because I was trying to explain to Matt how commercials were like in the 80s and 90s, and we got really high. And this was a couple years ago. I just started showing him like 30-minute videos of nothing but like different 80s and 90s commercials. Like, dude, commercials were so different. And then we stumbled upon that by accident. He's like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "I don't know."
Dude, now I want to see if there's actually the Sci-Fi Network commercials are findable.
The old school sci-fi ones before they changed the spelling, or
Yeah,
after
before they
changed the
just stopped making the little broadcasts, the little bald dude that was
spelling.
telling the broadcasts. I
That's
missed
after
that.
they changed it, yeah. Well, they just changed their programming lineup again, like after the last Sharknado movie. They decided that they were kind of done being the joke network, like where they make a lot of comedy stuff. Like they wanted to go more serious, so they started getting a lot of original programming, a lot of indie writers. Like they were hiring indie writers. Channel Zero is one of the things they did from No Sleep and Creepypasta. They did a bunch of different stuff like that, and they just kind of changed it. So they're doing things much differently these days. Which I kind of miss the cheesy stuff they used to do.
Do you guys did you guys ever watch the training videos for like the 80s, 90s jobs?
Yes.
Some of them.
So I've actually had to recreate videos like this for different companies and for joke stuff. So I've seen a stupid amount of them.
Okay.
I'm trying to get Fred to let me do one for the haunt.
So one of the funniest things is Five Nights at Freddy's that just came out. They did that training video on security. But this entire time I was looking at that, I was watching it, and I just thought of the training video for McDonald's.
Oh my god!
And realized how irritating it was for the first people to go and say, "What does a McDonald's do?" Because you would walk up to this window, you'd place your order, and then they're like, "Okay, well, it'll be this much." I haven't got my food. Well,
Yeah.
you go over there and they give you your food. Huh? Well, that was quick. Yeah. And people were so confused on the aspect of what a fast food joint actually was and what they were looking at and how is this right? That, the McDonald's were kind of off.
Yeah.
In Columbus, there's a McDonald's that actually has the golden arches.
Oh yeah,
in the big glass. And I was like, I don't like going to McDonald's, but I want to go to that one.
Dude.
Just because it's old school.
The coolest one I've ever seen is if you go to Orlando and like you're going to Disney and stuff, there's a little separate highway just for Disney, like for Disney parks and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And like while you're driving on it, they've got like speedways, they've got gas stations and food. But the McDonald's they have there is the giant multi-level McDonald's. And just standing there and looking at it. And then on International, they have another version of that same McDonald's. Literally, you can even buy steak at these McDonald's. Like dishes that aren't normally there because it's like parts of it are like higher scale. I mean, McDonald's in Florida is more expensive than here, obviously, than in most places. But it's just
I would like
like
a order
McDonald's
of
is a
your
restaurant.
fanciest nuggets.
But it's weird though. They got chicken strips on those menus. Like it's like an expanded,
Oh,
like
come on.
almost. No, I'm
That's not
serious.
fair.
They're
We
like these.
just got the snack wraps back here.
It's these little weird, like extended, like experience versions of McDonald's, and they have them on more than just Florida. I'm sure they have them at some other places too, a bunch of other places. But, like I've never seen one outside of there personally. But it's like a fine dining mixed with a fast food, but it's still McDonald's, and you can get all the normal McDonald's stuff, but all this extra fancy stuff too. So it's weird, man. It's like another universe.
Makes me, oh my gosh.
And then in Vandalia, Ohio, we used to have the McPlayroom, which was a normal McDonald's that had that giant, like
Yeah.
factory style sized building attached to it. That was
Yeah.
everything in every McDonald's playland ever. It was a museum of all the play stuff, but kids could actually play on it and everything.
Isn't
That
that
is awesome.
still in there?
I don't know. I haven't been over there to see. I could not tell you. I just remembered it.
Because it was so funny. I was like, this McDonald's has actually got something attached. Oh wow, it's still got the slides?
Yeah.
How's liability not happened?
But yeah, it's nuts, man. Like I remember that place because they had you had the Hamburglar, but then you had the cop that always chased him around. They have
Yeah.
one of those things where you crawl up inside the body of the cop,
Yeah.
and you're sitting in its head because its head is a jail cell. But
Yeah.
it's that character, like,
Yeah.
and it's weird playground equipment based on all these characters, and you're just like, there's a bench with Ronald that you can sit next to him and just chill
Yep.
on a bench, like, and just weird shit there, man.
There
Fry
is
Kid
You think for a
statues.
school one day?
There is a drive-through at a McDonald's that they had to get rid of all their playground stuff, but all the statues they put around this enclosed tunnel kind of looking thing that is their drive-through. But people kept on going and vandalizing the things, so they went ahead and they start putting bars around it. So it looks like all the characters are behind bars, even the cop.
It's hilarious, dude.
So, I'll tell you what, McDonald's is one of those things, it's changing so rapidly now because if you look at McDonald's here, all they're really talking about is the sister company that McDonald's just created for like fancy coffee drinks and this and
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I saw about that. They're putting one in Columbus. There's one that's supposed to be going in Dayton at some point in time if the pilot version of it works out. Like they're trying it
The
out in Ohio.
pilot is going so freaking well. There is 4-hour wait time for them damn thing.
That's what I heard. Yeah,
You cannot get me to drink a lemonade for 4 hours. I mean, I will go to like the stupidest gas station and get a damn drink. I'm not 4-hour kind of guy.
yeah, me either.
I got STD shit to do. Hey, it came from my boss. Seriously,
love
he
it.
sat
It's
down right
hilarious.
beside me and he goes, I got STD. I said, you need to go see a doctor. And he goes, shit to do. Oh, that makes it so much better. We're good.
Yeah, it does.
But no, I love how restaurants have changed, they have modified. And I want to see how and if you go to a McDonald's here, it's not the same in other states, and it's really not the same in Canada, and it's really not even close to other countries. I love how fast food has developed to make it a lot different on their parts. And
Oh, yeah.
you still question what you get from the Chinese restaurant. Oh, look, there's a Happy Meal right behind you, Raz. It's running away from the Chinese restaurant.
Yeah. We mentioned Chinese restaurant. He just took right off, man. He knows. That's what I threatened him with when he acts up. Like, I'm going to drop you off. And that's like such an old school thing to talk about, too. Like, that was an old, like, people don't talk about these days. Like, when I say it now, everybody's like, what? Like, people don't get it. Like, that was a big joke that, like, your pets, they would take strays and stuff. And that's what you'd eat when you go to Chinese restaurants. It was a terrible thing to say, like, but it was created in a culture where terrible things to say in the 80s and 90s were funny to people, and it just became normal. And now, like that, some of those things are considered bad to say now, but like that's one that's just stuck around because even Weird Al Yankovic did a song about
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Cats in the Kettle
Right.
remake he did, the Cats in the Kettle at the Peking Room. It was all about Garfield on his
Yeah.
fork. Like, because I made the comment and the kids were like, "What?" So I made them listen to that Weird Al song because they like Weird Al. They just never heard that one, and they're like, "Oh, I get it now."
Well, if you actually do a little digging, it actually lists some restaurants that were actually taking part of actually this.
Yeah. They were old
And
stories.
one
and
was
things that
actually
happened.
down in Dayton.
Yep. We all know that one. Trust me. And down here, everybody knows which one it was.
But up here in Salina, Ohio, they had a Chinese restaurant that was cooking food correctly, this and that. But if you ordered a rare dish, they would say, "Oh, okay, you come with me," and they would bring you into a back room, and they got shut down for solicitation. If you asked for this kind of food, they would take you out of your chair or out of your seat where they sat you, and you'd be brought into the back. Well, there was a food guy, that went in there, and he's sitting there, and he heard them order this special dish, and he said, "You know what? I don't know what it is." So he figured he was going to sit there, and he would order that dish.
Oh,
And
my
they said,
God.
"Oh yeah, you come back." And then he's like, walks out, gets in his car, and the next day there was an undercover cop that asked for the same thing and busted the whole Chinese restaurant.
Wow.
I mean, I don't know if that's exactly how that went,
Right.
but that's the basis of what everybody was saying in Salina. I was like,
Wow.
and it made some news, and I always cracked a joke. I was like, happy ending. Not like that though.
Yeah.
So we have a chicken restaurant that every time it comes back, it is some form of chicken restaurant. It has been shut down 3 times for selling different types of drugs out the window.
Oh, yeah, that's normal. I'd
Yeah,
say that,
but
but that's kind of normal.
yeah, but that is like the first time I've heard that close to where I am.
There are drive-throughs that even today I can still go to. Like, hey, I want this particular thing. They'll move the cash register, open up the thing underneath, and just pull it out for you. Like, I have no need of these places these days, but like, there was a time in my life where I definitely did.
Well, so I gotta ask this question. If you go to like a whole bunch of different restaurants, you always notice that every restaurant's got chicken on it, right?
Yeah.
But you go to a chicken restaurant, and that's all they got.
Not these days, man. Not these days at all. A lot of the chicken restaurants have all kinds of other shit now. Like a lot of them will also, I mean, not just sides, but like so a lot of them are starting to do like fish. Also, they do a couple other different things too.
Isn't that like special time of the year though?
It depends on the place. I mean, like it really depends on the place. Like I know, like Popeyes has like, well, I mean, I guess some of the products are still chicken related because I can get like a pot pie, for example.
Right.
Like that's one of the
Right.
things I'll get from Lee's is a pot pie because it's really good.
Dude, you guys got a really nice Lee's right beside that Hell's Dungeon.
Oh, that one and the one that's over
Yeah.
here by where I live in Middletown are like the two best Lee's anywhere. Like I love going to both of them.
So the one in Sydney, I love. The one in Piqua, it's not too far off. The one in Bellefontain's not too far off. The one down in Dayton, that was excellent.
Yeah, their food is good, man.
Yeah, I know. And man, okay. We really just need to have a food night. You know that?
Now I want a pot pie,
Dude, Lee's pot pies are good. They're surprisingly really good.
but I don't have a Lee.
See, whenever you come and visit one of these days, there's one right next to the haunt.
Okay, where are you from?
Yes. I'm in Newton, Texas, dude.
Very far away.
Okay.
Honestly, me and Ron are the only ones from Ohio, and you are the only ones from Ohio. Everyone else on this show is from a different state. Literally a different. Well, James and Dell are both Nebraska. We have another person from Texas as well. Kristen's Texas. Jeez, I'm trying to remember where everybody's from. Mariah's North Carolina. Con Dog's over on the East Coast, so is Jeremy. We have people
I'm
in a lot
trying
of
to
different
think.
places.
I mean, you guys got Popeye's chicken down there.
Popeyes is
Who
the
else?
shiznit.
So the story with Lee's Chicken, if you don't know, is Lee's Chicken was created by the nephew of Colonel Sanders.
Okay.
When Colonel Sanders started his chicken, he started it in a back shop of a gas station. He didn't have money. He didn't have this and that. Well, when KFC's start being like really big, his nephew said, "Here, try this." Colonel Sanders said, "No, I'm not going to do that, and I am going to make sure that my recipe stays this way." Okay. So he said, "Fine, I will do it myself." He had enough money. He started a place. He called it Lee's Chicken. When he started doing Lee's Chicken, people were grabbing onto that. Now, there is a total question of where the first Lee's Chicken actually was started. Some people say it was in Lima, Ohio. That way it was far enough away from Colonel Sanders. Colonel Sanders couldn't do it. And the fact is, Colonel Sanders actually helped start 2 restaurants, and he did not understand he started them.
Yep.
It's because of what he said that they were started. He started Lee's Chicken, and he also helped start Wendy's.
Yep.
And the reason he helped start Wendy's is because Dave Thomas worked at a KFC, and he said, "You did such a great job. One of these days, you may just own your own store or your own restaurant." Well, he took that as, "Yeah, I could." And he started his restaurant in Columbus, Ohio, which when that location was there for the longest time, and I think early 2000s, they finally closed it.
Mhm.
But it was right across the street from the first COSI
Yep.
that was
Yep.
in
The original
Columbus.
COSI building. Yep.
Yep.
I used to go to literally that Wendy's and the COSI.
Right. And the thing was, Wendy's was so popular, they actually took a Wendy's and they made it into the Columbus Zoo.
Mhm. They did, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Wendy's is so popular that their deep frying oil gets made in Sydney, Ohio.
Yep.
And it is made in 2 different ways. One is US and one is Canadian. And it has English and French on it.
Yep.
So once again, we've just got to make a food freaking night.
We do. There's a lot of cool shit, honestly. Like
I-
hole in the wall,
it is.
like big shit. Like there's a lot of cool places.
It's just
Dude,
about
Dad
who
told
can
me about
create
Hole in the
something.
Wall.
What's that?
Dad told me about Hole in the Wall. He enjoyed that place.
Yep.
He was a truck
There's a-
driver.
Okay.
There's actual.
And-
There used to be a restaurant here that was actually called Hole in the Wall. I don't think we have it anymore, but it was fucking amazing.
And that's the thing, there are so many different places that are so wonderful. I know Wednesdays, if I'm going to go for wings, I'll go to the Wapak Bowling Alley because the Wapakoneta Bowling Alley has some of the best wings. We could make a heck of a list of who we thought had the best food. And when it comes down to hamburgers, I love having a little char taste on mine, but I do not like it actually being grilled in some of these places.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
It dries it out and it gets it too crispy.
My place for burgers though, Five Guys and Fries, man. Their burgers and their fries. It's
And their
more
hot dogs.
expensive. Dude, oh yeah, I haven't had their hot dogs, but I've heard really good things about it. 'Cause when I'm there, I'm literally just there because I'm craving a burger, and I just go get their burger. I'll have to try their dogs.
Smash Burger's pretty good too.
I like smash burgers, it's all right, but I don't come away from smash burger feeling like I'm full. I can get literally one thing of fries and a burger from Five Guys and be good for most of the rest of the day. Because their shit is huge.
Res,
Like, when you get like a large fry, it is literally a giant bag full of fries. 'Cause
Yeah,
they put the fry
yeah.
container, and then they just fill the whole rest of the bag up with fries. It's crazy.
and they always put where the potatoes came from.
Yep.
They want you to know where it was, what farm. Raz, I need to come down and steal you and bring you up to Lima. There's a
I haven't been to
place
Lima in a
called
while.
there's a place called Cupie's.
I've heard of Cupie's. I've never been to Cupie's, but I've heard of Cupie's.
Cupie's has fresh made hamburgers every single day. Like they grind up the beef and this and that, and they make their thinner patties. And they have malts, and the French fries are always delicious.
Sounds
And
good. I
one
love
of the
malts.
one of the best things, their fish sandwich. It is hard to beat that fish sandwich.
I'm not really a fish guy. Like, there's a couple places in like shitty like places to go, like Captain D's and Long John Silver's, like that kind of fish. But that's it. And even then, like even McDonald's once in a while. But I really gotta like wake up and be like, man, I need this particular fish, and that's it.
Right?
So I grew up when my dad was like the president and vice president and different things in the Ohio Bassmasters Club. He was one of the guys that was on TV fishing sometimes and different
Right.
stuff. And so a big chunk of my life was just fish. Have this fish, try that fish. And he made me not like fish.
Oh my gosh. You poor
Oh,
boy.
wow.
I haven't even been fishing, it's been a while since I've been fishing, but like literally we would just fish all the time and just he would cook it all up right there. And after a while of
Yeah.
only eating fish, I just kind of, I guess as a kid, it messed me up and I just had it too much. So now,
I get that.
Where
With-
is your favorite breakfast?
Oh man, there's some really good places for breakfast.
That goes for you, Jen. That too.
Um,
Favorite
Denny's
breakfast?
is on that list for me. It's one of the places for sure.
Who is?
Denny's is on that list, but one of the
Oh,
best
Denny's.
places in Ohio is Hasty Tasty Pancake House right over by the Haunt. That place is a fucking institution, and their food is amazing. It's a
Okay.
home cooked diner, like sort of experience.
I've never been there.
It's really good.
That's right beside the Lee's, isn't it?
Yep. Look, but right next door almost.
Um,
Well, there's that, and then there's that gas station, and then there's the.
There's this
what about you?
there's this restaurant in Huntsville that's shut down due to COVID. But you can go there about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning and get whatever breakfast you want. That was my most favorite place to go for breakfast.
Oh, yeah.
And probably Carol's and Navasota.
We had a place for a while called the Golden Nugget, which was like a breakfast and like brunch type place. It was amazing, but again, because of COVID and some other stuff, they shut down and they sold out the business, and it's not quite there anymore. But like, man, there's a lot of great places for breakfast. It depends on what I'm in the mood for. Like, if I want an omelet, I'll go to one place in particular. If I want grits, I'm going to go to this place. Like, I feel like everybody's got great breakfast menus, but everybody does one particular item on their menu a little bit better than everybody else.
Now everybody's going to look at me, and some people are going to say I love it, and other people I hate it. But I'm just going to tell you right now, Waffle House.
Dude, I had not been to Waffle House in years until the last night of the haunt season. A bunch of us went to different Waffle Houses because they're tiny these days and you can't fit everybody in one. And
Right.
I found out they now do loaded grits. That's something they've started doing since I stopped
Yeah.
going to Waffle Houses. And I tried it and I'm like, so I love me some good grits. Like the loaded grits is the shit, man. It's just like the
I will
loaded
tell you.
hash browns, but it's grits.
So my Waffle House here in Sydney, okay, it just absolutely, they know me. They got a brand new cook, and the cook's like, oh, I'm just training this and that. And as soon as I sat down, the other cook looked at this one and goes, your training is over. You got to work on this. And she said, the question is, how many eggs? And I started laughing. I said, let's do 6. The guy's eyes got so big. They make, for me, and sometimes they can't do it like one omelet. but they'll have to make it into 2. It is 6 eggs, bacon, chicken, and cheese. And they cut it up and put it all in an omelet. And oh my gosh. And then, if I couldn't be more of a fat guy, hopefully my doctor's not watching this, but I will go and I will get gravy, their gravy, and just smear it on there.
That
Oh my
sounds
gosh.
yummy.
It
I
is
would
it is
do-
great.
I think it's pecan waffles covered in strawberries and whipped cream and coffee. And I had went to our Waffle House in Trenton, Georgia so many times. The lady would see me come in with my book and be like, "I gotcha," and it'd just be in front of me relatively quickly, and I wouldn't have to say anything other than "thank you."
So, do you know how important Waffle House is? And that's weird to hear somebody say how important Waffle House is. Do you
Dude,
have any idea how important Waffle House actually is?
if the Waffle House shuts down during a storm event back home, then we know it's going to be a problem. If they don't shut down, everybody's like, okay, sure, don't worry about it, just stay close to home. That is how important Waffle House is.
Well, it gets a little more extreme than that. Okay. So, the National Weather Service, okay? And we're talking about FEMA and we're talking about Noel and all this, right? They will judge how bad a hurricane was and how bad the area is by 3 different looks at a Waffle House, okay? The first look is having the full menu. Your area's not that bad, okay? Second one, yes, you got a Waffle House and it is open, but it is limited menu, okay? The third one is destroyed because the Waffle House is totally down. Okay. They'll take an area of where this is and they'll find out what the Waffle House is going through. And this is how they can judge what kind of aid and what kind of stuff they need to go through. Waffle House actually has an entire crew that their job is nothing but to go in areas and get the Waffle Houses back up and running.
Oh,
Come
yeah.
join us.
If you did not know that one.
I love me
Oh,
some
I
Waffle
do.
House though, too. Like when I was growing up, it was like Waffle House, Denny's. That's what's open in the middle of the night. Which one? And we would just alternate. Like when I started doing club security, like Denny's was their thing, so I'd go to Denny's forever. But then with other groups of people, it was, oh no, Waffle House is our thing. So like in Dayton especially, there were always multiple Denny's and multiple Waffle Houses. So like even if one was busy, you're good. But then it
Right.
became where the ones that no one really went to as much were the downtown Dayton Denny's. No one went to that one, and the Waffle House that used to be in downtown Dayton. So that became like where we'd go to one, we'd eat, we'd chill for a little bit, and then I would leave and go to the other location, hang out with other friends, and eat again. Like it was just a big
Right.
thing. So when both of those restaurants left downtown Dayton, man, like it was fucking heartbreaking because sometimes we would just randomly show up after years of not seeing each other and just happenstance meet up there again. It was just something that like, hey, you got nothing to do. Let's head over there today. It's been a while, and it's just
What
it's gone. They're both gone.
what about Cracker Barrel?
I do like Cracker
Oh,
Barrel. I'm a lunch guy for Cracker Barrel.
Okay.
Oh,
I've been in a Cracker Barrel. Let's count them. Okay. Yep.
So that's a Dayton thing too. There's a ton of them around here.
2 times.
I've been there a lot. That was like the special thing. I graduated. We got good grades, or we got an award. Whenever we ended up moving into my aunt and uncle's house, that was where they took us. I found things in the Cracker Barrel, like old DVDs that I haven't been able to find anywhere else for some of my older family members that were like, I want to find this. And I'm like, I can only find it here. I'm going to go get that. So it's just ingrained in life, like the Denny's and the Waffle House is here.
Yeah, definitely, dude. I love that place. Like one time on a vacation, me and my ex-wife stopped at one because it was food we were familiar with, and we were kind of on the road, staying at a hotel overnight before we went to the next leg of our journey. And they had one, like, let's go. They actually had every season of Rocky and Bullwinkle's Adventures there, every season for like $5 a piece. This was like 10 years ago, probably, or more.
Uh-huh.
And I bought that's my favorite cartoon ever, and I didn't own it on DVD. I'd been thinking about it. and bought every season of it right there in the store. Their store is cool. They've got weird random stuff plus a bunch of candy stuff. And then you go into their actual restaurant and sit down. It's really neat.
So
I dig that place.
the last guy that Martha dated before she just gave up on dating, he had borrowed her Sherlock Holmes, the old version, like the black and white version, and is turned into color. And he refused to give it back for whatever reason. And I'm like, okay, I'll get it for you whenever I can find it. And then one day we were on a trip. We ended up going back home to Rising Fawn to see my sister and our other family. And I find it in the Cracker Barrel on the way up. And I'm able to get her Sherlock Holmes collection back.
Nice.
So, yeah.
It's definitely a cool place.
Okay.
I like going there for their
So
meatloaf
I do
and their
have a
ham and
question
beans.
for both of you. What?
What?
You asked what the question is, and I looked at you.
Yeah.
We just have to say the question.
Well, I was going to say the question, and I swear he said something about meatloaf.
Yeah, no, I was talking about the reason I go to that particular restaurant is because I really like their meatloaf and their ham and beans.
Oh,
yeah, those are good.
I was so confused. I was like, huh? So here's my question. When you guys go to a festival or something like that, and you have food vendors and you have food trucks, what is your favorite out of them?
It depends on that's hard to say because
depends on
these
the type of festival.
Yeah, that is true too, and it depends on the food trucks, man. There's this one I used to like. I've only been there like once or twice. It's not local. It's not a local thing. It was called Grill 'Em All. Like they had the Metallica logo, but it was Grill 'Em All instead of Kill 'Em All. And they did these really cool, like different gourmet grilled cheese sandwiches, and some were like burger grilled cheese sandwiches. Like a setup like that, I'll hit up a food truck like that every fucking time.
I want to go to Melts. Now that you said that,
dude, it's good. Melts is
never
good.
had Melts.
We broke down and went there, and we've been talking about wanting to go back again, but the one we were going to was shut down, so we're waiting to see when there's supposed to be a new one being built. And dude, we went there. They have they have dessert melts. They've got like your actual like burger melts, Reuben sandwich melts. Like there's so many different options there. It's amazing. And they actually had a Cuban sandwich melt that I got that, man, it blew my mind. It was really good. Their shit's good though. I like grilled cheesy type stuff. I don't know why.
If this is what I'm going to be missing as a skinny guy, I never want to be one.
Oh yeah. Like when I go to King's Island, I like to go to Tom and Cheese because they've got the specialty grilled cheese sandwiches and all that stuff. It's really good. They've got one that I don't remember what kind of meat it is. It's like some kind of like bacon and ham-ish kind of stuff, but they've also got barbecue chips inside the sandwich as well. And so when I go there, one of my meals of the day is usually going over there to that location, getting their food.
There is one that they have.
We're talking about food right now, Dell, and restaurants we like. Just to catch up to speed with what's happening.
There is a festival in my son's hometown of St. Mary's. And this festival, they have bourbon, chicken, and rice.
Oh, it's so good. It's basically what people call mall chicken. That's like the free sample chicken that you get at the mall. It's usually almost always like bourbon chicken. But bourbon chicken, when it's done right on rice, dude, it's one of the best meals ever.
And the thing is, I looked at my wife and I said, "Sweetheart," and she goes, "Yeah." I said, "Can we make Mongolian chicken? No rice, just Mongolian chicken, put it in a crock pot and bring it to Christmas this year." And she goes, "That is not traditional." I said, "Neither is the Chinese food I made like 6 years ago." So,
well, I don't know if you've seen The Christmas Story. It became like almost an American tradition to go out and have Chinese on Christmas Day.
Rah 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 rah.
Yep.
But no, that bourbon chicken, that is amazing. And I was like, man. So I go to festivals, and if they got that, I'll give it a try.
That's definitely a go-to for me too. That especially street vendor bourbon chicken is always the best.
Oh yeah.
We have that food truck that's attached to the haunt, kind of like they come out there like every night, and I like the lemon shake up things that you can get from carnivals and festivals. It's the big thing that's got the pictures of the lemon on it. It's like the really crazy sugary lemonade. Like I love that. Like if I'm going for a drink, that's the first thing I look for.
Dude, they look like they had a good spread, but unfortunately, when I'm haunting, I don't want to eat.
Yeah, I'm like that until afterwards, like way afterwards. Like I'm done.
But I'll tell you,
we hang out for sometimes hours at the haunt afterwards, just out in the parking lot, just talking, having fun, smoking, chilling out, and then we'll all leave. And then by then I'm hungry because I've settled down, my stomach's settled, and then I'll go eat.
But if he would have a grilled cheese sandwich, I guarantee I'd be like, yeah, I want that.
You know, like you can just go up like and request things from him. Like he'll make all kinds of weird shit. He was they were talking about what all he could fry. So he was just frying random things. Like Fred was bringing him random food. Dave was bringing him random shit. And he was just frying it for him and just give it. It was hilarious.
They're
really cool people.
There was a girl that I tutored once. Sorry. Hi, I'm breaking in. I'm interrupting.
No, you're fine. You're fine. It's nice. I need to shut up once in a while.
About grilled cheese, though, I think I've told you guys this story before. The girl that I tutored in statistics.
Oh,
yeah. For those of you who haven't heard it, though,
I've heard it. I'll be right back.
All right. I had two of the same girls, and they were like, one was engaged to the brother of the other, and the girl who was the fiance went out to their farm. The guys were out in the field, and the girls were sitting home, and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna make them, lunch." And they were like, "We're going to make grilled cheese." And they thought that how you made grilled cheese was by toasting 2 pieces of bread, putting cheese on the inside, and then sticking them in the microwave. And that was how they had made grilled cheese. The whole family thought that was how you made grilled cheese. And
I mean, you can, it's just not advisable.
Yeah, but so this girl was like, no. Let me show you what you do. And she got out a pan and like buttered the bread and put it, and made them grilled cheese. And they were all like, this is the best grilled cheese we've ever had, because they'd always had shit grilled cheese before. And like she had to teach them. And then every time apparently it was hard for them to use just like a pan to flip bread. So like whenever she would come over, they'd be like, will you make us grilled cheese again? And yeah, there's a bunch that goes with it, but it was the other girl wasn't quite the sharpest tool in the shed. And apparently it was a whole family thing. It wasn't just a her thing. It was just wow, you guys all made it this far and with farm equipment. I am impressed. Like, damn.
You're going to lose one of your siblings to the combine. Wow.
Yeah. Oh, those are dangerous, man. Papa Joyce like lost 3 of his fingers on a combine, and he's a smart farmer. You get, accidents happen on a farm.
Accidents happen, but if you're stupid, that's when actual deaths occur.
Yes.
Yeah.
You expect to lose a finger, maybe, part of a limb once in a blue moon with a combine if you're not like 100% paying attention to it all the time, which is hard to do. But like you don't usually die from one unless something really stupid.
Yeah. No.
Or you're really tired, which can happen.
I mean, he had thousands of acres of land and hogs and cattle. And so through like 50 years of farming, I'd say just losing a couple of fingers was probably
that's not bad.
Pretty impressive. And he was, yeah.
So I want to say before I go how great it is to be on here with you guys. But what you just said about microwaving the grilled cheese, my wife did that. And I looked at her. I said, I said, what are you doing? And she goes, I'm making you grilled cheese. I know you like grilled cheese. I'm being romantic.
You're microwaving
no. Here. Let me fix this. So I got out something that professionals use. It's called liquid butter.
Yeah.
And liquid butter is the greatest invention.
Agreed. I like that squeeze bottle, man. It makes it easy.
And I'm telling you, the last hour has been nothing but fat comments with me.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
As we talk about food. But if you go and you want to bribe me, you get me a grilled cheese sandwich, It doesn't have to have ham in it. It doesn't have to have anything. A good grilled cheese sandwich. But do not try melting the cheese in the microwave.
Yeah, you'll taste
That is
cheese
the
immediately.
hobo way.
Okay, are you mayo, butter, or nothing on the inside of the bread?
What is it?
Mayonnaise, butter, or dry inside where the cheese goes? What do you use?
Oh, I put about 3 slices of cheese, so I won't taste anything but that cheese.
You don't put any butter or any mayonnaise or anything in. It's just
I
dry
like
bread and cheese.
mustard.
Ooh, that's a good one. I haven't had that before. I'm gonna have to try it.
Dad would put Grey Poupon in it.
I put
I will tell you.
tomato soup in it.
So I lived with my grandma for a little bit, and she was suffering from dementia, and it was getting really worse and worse and worse. And she keeps on saying she wanted a grilled cheese, a double-decker grilled cheese from the local tavern we have here in Botkins. Kept on telling her they don't have that. Well, I went there one day. I talked to the owner's son, and he goes, "We have never made that for your grandma." I said, "Okay, well, her dementia is at the point where she doesn't know what's going on." And he goes, "Okay." He goes, "Have you seen her car?" I said, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "She came in here yesterday asking for a burger." I said, "Okay." And he goes, "She almost ripped off her bumper because she hit something." And I was like, "Oh God." So I went back to her house, looked at it, and I said, "Grandma, did you go to Myers yesterday?" "Oh, I don't remember. I don't think I did." I said, "Josh said that I need to check your bumper." And here it was. The bumper was all messed up. And I'm like, oh boy. But you know what? It's okay. We got it fixed. And then after we got it fixed, I went ahead and I took one piece of bread and I toasted it with the butter on the inside.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I flipped both sides, I took both sides of that, put cheese on it, and then made her a double decker.
Oh,
and
yeah.
she goes, "That's just like Myers makes." Except for Myers doesn't make it.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, so when you were asking that, I mean, grilled cheese
I want
is
to tell
like
you something. Myers
Yeah.
did used to make that.
in Botkins?
Every Myers. Let me explain. When Myers it's weird that I remember this specific item, but we're talking like late 80s, about early 90s when Myers first was a thing. So, in part of their deli, there was an actual restaurant inside of Myers. A lot of them had the restaurant with like the cafe chairs and all that. And they had this thing
Okay.
where you filled out a card. You went, you filled out a card, you would check mark all the things that you wanted on your sandwich, and they were sandwiches, and then you'd hand them. One of the things that was an option was actually a double-decker grilled cheese sandwich that you could add different things to. But this was like early 90s, man. This was like, but that was
So
a thing because I've had it from Myers, from the Myers restaurant.
this is Myers Tavern,
Oh,
not Myers
okay.
the store.
Sorry. My bad. Well, maybe she got the Myers switched in her head though, because with dementia, things like that can happen. Because you're saying Myers something. Yeah, Myers had that sandwich.
Oh, Papa remembered stuff from. He might not remember what he did that morning, but he remembered everything from like his childhood up through like when he was 70 or 80. But he would always we couldn't let him drive, and he'd always be like, "Well, why can't I drive?" And we're like, "Well, you can probably drive, but you would get lost and wouldn't be able to make it back." "Well, somebody could come find me." We're like, "Papa, we can't let you like," and I'm sure he actually would have been fine on the road, but yeah, he would have no idea where he was going to be. Or where he was. But he could remember the names of the children and grandchildren of the people that owned the restaurants in the towns that he worked in and frequented. And the food and stuff too. So it might have been just a confusion on the Myers thing if she you know.
Grandma got at the point where she called us one day and she goes, "You got to come help me. They're stealing all the towels out of the rooms." Because she used to be a manager of a hotel. So when she went into assisted living, she thought they were stealing all the towels out the room.
Oh,
But you know,
Gotcha.
it just yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to put in that whole double decker thing. And I'm glad that you brought up that whole aspect of actually having a double decker sandwich at Myers.
Yeah,
But this
that
is
was a thing.
Myers Tavern here in
Yeah, yeah.
Boggins, not
Did you said
not
tavern when you
Myers.
said Myers? I thought we changed subjects. Like I was so confused. I get what you're saying now, though. I got you now.
Okay,
Yeah,
one more
it's
thing.
named after the owner.
Nice.
One more thing before you leave. My
Yeah.
similar story. So my grandmother had dementia as well. And my aunt Janice would come and take her clothes and wash them and bring them back. Well, one day she thought the dirty clothes thieves came. And then we found out she still had a rifle because she walked around the circle that the block makes
Right.
to try to find the dirty clothes thieves.
oh my.
Wow.
Oh,
That's
Yeah,
not
that is
something
what
you want to
happened.
find out that way.
No, that's not something I wanted. I don't think anybody wanted to find out. But yeah, that's how we found out she still had something hid.
I mean, dirty clothes thieves exist. They're just called underwear gnomes.
My notes
Okay.
add things
Okay.
randomly.
Okay.
I finally gave the
Be-
jello away.
Before I leave, I will give you one more story, and then I've got to go because I've got to load fertilizer onto a trailer 7:00 in the morning.
Yeah, and then he's got to come hunt with me after that.
Yeah, and then you get to see the creeper van. But I want to put free candy on, but I know that's illegal. Anyway, no. So
Get a magnetic strip you can remove when the cops are there. It's cool.
anyway, so no kidding on this. I love my grandma and I love my grandpa. So, you know, whoever watches this and goes, well, they're dogging on grandma and grandpa, that's not true. I used to be there for my grandma when she got to the point that she couldn't handle herself. I would follow her with blue gloves and clean up her mess right behind her. That's not a problem. But we were going through grandma and grandpa's stuff as grandma was going into the assisted living. And as we sat there and we were doing everything, me and my grandma always had the best conversations on me and her, knowing that we love each other and we can have any type of conversation.
Mhm.
So when she said, you know, you could ask me anything, I thought, what is the worst question I could ask my grandma? So I looked at her. I said, hey, grandma. She goes, yeah. I said, what was your favorite position? Thinking she was going to choke up. She looked at me and she goes, oh, darling, I just laid there and just took it because I really didn't want it, but your grandpa did. So when we went through this one drawer, we found so many condoms, it wasn't even funny anymore. And I was like, she was right. She was absolutely right. I love my grandma. I love my grandpa. There's no one that can change any of that stuff.
And apparently they loved
And
each other.
they did. They loved each other so much. And one day I looked at her and said, hey, I love you so much and I thank you. And she goes, what for? I said, because if you chose not to go and do something with grandpa, I would never exist.
Yeah,
It was because you guys were banging
Yep, that's
that
true.
I was created. And my mom, and she looks at my mother and goes, do you know what your son said? And my mom goes, I don't even want to know. I looked at my mom. I said, thanks for banging dad. Hey guys, it's been a pleasure being on here, and I'm glad that we get to have these wonderful random moments where we go from talking about gravestones to talking about a whole bunch of food to grandma banging grandpa.
Yep, it was definitely one of those shows today, man. But seriously, love you. I'll definitely see you guys later. Well, later today because it's already past midnight here.
Yeah, we can't wait. By the way, when you guys do these, send me a message, and if I can, I'll jump in.
Yeah, definitely. I'll let
Okay,
you know, man.
I'll make
Sure.
sure I send you one directly, or he will.
Yeah,
Somebody
there you
will.
go. Yeah, do that, and then I'll be like, oh, down to the basement. It's not the Batcave, but you know. Da da da
Well,
da da
there's
da da
now,
da da.
there's now a picture, so you know who it is.
I love that picture of us. That was a great.
That was
Great
hilarious.
selfie. So you guys all have a great night, and
Thank you
I
for
will
coming.
figure out. I'll figure out how to get out here. I think it's
Click the
stop
X at the
cam.
top.
Oh
Yep, you
yeah,
just-
there is an X at the top, right?
Close the tab.
Oh,
Or maybe over
oh! I
here.
had to minimize my. I'm still learning this.
You're good.
Don't worry. You'll get
I'm
it.
so horrible at this
Sometimes I
yet.
click out of it because I click on the wrong button and it just takes me out of the show and I have to come back like, yep, wrong lever.
Well, I had it on full screen and I was paying attention
Oh,
and this
yeah,
and that.
yeah.
And I was like, where's the X? And I
F11.
was like, oh, I gotta minimize. There's the X.
Yeah.
I swear I'm not on
Otherwise, there's the
drugs,
one
but
down at the bottom too.
All right, I love you and I get the fuck out.
oh yeah, there we go.
So I want to show you guys.
Okay. You got your book today. It was gorgeous.
I got my
Oh, you
message.
got the box.
I got the box.
Yay!
I got my Christmas card from Dean and Willie
Yay!
and his lovely lady in the mail. Keep meaning to open. I haven't opened it yet. It's been sitting here.
So
I'm gonna open it now.
we're gonna go through this, and I have got a picture from Cassie
Oh,
of a crow.
love it.
She wrote a question on the back of it.
Yes, it was. Cassie asked if you like the show RWBY, but I do not know what RWBY stands for. So I was going to
It's
ask.
technically that's the name of the show, Ruby.
Oh,
I've heard of that one. It's an anime. I've not seen it, but I've heard of it.
Yeah.
yeah. I am not a fan because I did not know it existed.
Okay, I'll let her know that you had no idea.
And this is a crow from Sophie. Am I showing it well enough? I can't
Yeah.
see because my head's behind here. And then I got this neat little ornament. That's
You
super
like your
cute.
Ron?
Oh, that's cool.
Yes. And I've got an owl.
Yes, you got a wood owl too. I have one of those.
Oh, all three of you guys, you two and James are getting an owl. I just haven't sent his box out yet.
Nice.
Got this little guy on a stand. To figure out where to put him, I'm gonna have to organize some of this stuff pretty soon. I got this.
That was made by Sonia,
Oh, nice. Thank you.
Melanie B. So yeah.
And I got my Christmas stocking.
Nice. That's
So
cool.
yeah, you guys gotta check out the stars and moons and planets.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that was a happy thing that I got to open today. I was like, I can't wait to show everybody. Thank you so much, and thank everybody in your family. I have to figure out how to set that so that
Josh couldn't create things, so he got things he thought you might like.
Well, Josh did a good job. Everybody did a good job. I love everything I got here. And I'll be figuring. Oh, I'm making a lot of noise that way.
Everything you guys got me is in the drawer of my filing cabinet that no one has access to but me, so no one fucks it up.
That works as long as you give them a read at some point and at least look at the pictures.
I've
As
done that
long as
already.
you looked at the pictures, we're good.
I've gone
Again-
through all the books and looked at all the artwork for all of them already. I did that within like the first couple days of getting all that stuff.
As soon as I can find the other two, I will send those out. It's just I still haven't found all of it in the move.
You're good.
Yeah, that made my day. I've got other things I have to go through still, and Mom, we shared my Amazon Prime account, and unfortunately, uh, when she goes to just buy things, she doesn't change the address, so the Prime address is sent to her because I always send things to her, but with attention carry on them. And so I had to go sit there and be like, okay, we have to go through each item to see if it's something that was actually for me or something that you ordered that is not actually for me. But she had to
Right.
check to make sure it wasn't something that she ordered that was for her for me,
Uh-huh.
you know? So
Yeah.
you're like, okay, get through this. Okay, get through that. And yeah, so I have like a couple things. She's like, okay, you can take these home. I'm like, but I'm gonna be wrapping them at your house, so there's no point in it. So I'm leaving. And she's like, God damn it, because her whole bed is, cause she can't sleep in her bed anymore. Her whole bed is covered in like separated sections of boxes of things, and yeah. So I have. She's given me a little tub that I get to keep all of this stuff in. But yeah, so that's
Nice.
fun.
Right.
But yeah, she was like, she'd been like, yeah, you got your present from Jenny, and I'm like, yay! So I got that, and I fell asleep and slept all day.
Yep.
Yes. Since nobody really was able to do the padded cell, I'm like, okay, we still want to do a show. So how about we just do Corpse Garden Chronicles? And he's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
It all worked
So
out.
yeah, I was just woke up at like 9:45 p.m. So I'm like, okay, I should probably get out of bed and take my morning meds. That would
That would be
be
good.
a good idea.
Yeah.
And take care of
Definitely a
this
good
little
idea.
purr monster. I don't know if you can hear her or not, but
Not on my end. I'm having to use my phone instead today because my internet is just being stupid.
gotcha. So what did I miss? What are we doing?
Hours worth of conversations about restaurants and food and all kinds of randomness that we were talking about today.
And
It's nice.
tombstones and
Yeah.
dead people and cremains.
I played the rap video from the haunt, the ad.
Oh yeah, and you haven't seen, these are the keys to all the corpse gardens across the country.
Oh, cool.
They're
You should pick
actually
one.
To the
really
kingdoms.
You should pick the key that's the specific one to the Corpse Garden and Riverside.
okay. I was thinking about that. Because that
That'd be
one
awesome.
is the key to the portal to Lantern Audio Works.
Nice.
And I just have to be careful so I don't get turned into lime jello. So
Yeah.
seriously, read Man from Dark County. That one was so good. I was thinking this one.
I actually like that. That's pretty unique.
Yeah.
I'm down with that.
And then to the one, I was thinking the one over there in Nebraska.
That looks good.
That's cool.
For Wayuka?
Yeah, whichever one is closest to you. And then this is the one for over here in Newton.
Nice.
But since we have to have a second one for the one that's literally in my family's yard,
There
that
you
one. So yeah, technically they're from Fairy Tale. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that anime.
I know of it. I know a little bit of things about it, but I've never like sat down and like really watched it. I hear about a lot of anime
These
because I have
are
friends that
the
are super into it.
soul contract keys. Ray got me a set.
Oh,
I'm like, these will be a good prop for tonight.
it's really neat.
Very cool. Yeah, I need to start setting alarms or something.
Yeah.
Well, I do, and then I'm just like, "Ugh." Oh, I turned
I
it
had an
off.
alarm set, and then nobody was doing anything, and I knew Raz wanted to cry just as much as I did because nobody wanted to do anything.
Yeah.
I woke up to all these messages, and I'm like, how did I not hear any of them go off? Because usually I hear stuff and I had like 4 like conversations that had taken place, and pardon me, I still have that morning cough thing going on. This is how much I'm sleeping, folks. Got to practice up. The Olympics are coming soon.
Yeah.
You know, I am a champion sleeper.
My schedule's still weird. Well, I'm staying up until like anywhere between 9 and 11 a.m. Then finally going to bed. And sometimes I wake up at 2 or 3. And then today I woke up at like, oh my God, it was like 7:30 or 8. And I'm like, oh, the fuck? There's a show. I started freaking out, like getting ready, doing shit, like getting cleaned up. And I messaged in like, where are people?
I was dreaming about
And he
catfish.
wanted to do it.
And I had to go to schools and I had to have certain coats, and there was like a catfish in the pocket of one of them that somebody had bought me because it was supposed to be like a present for some special day. And I was like, okay, but I went out and I went fishing instead, and I caught a huge catfish, and then I lost the catfish. And I was like, well, that sucks. And we were trying to do a play as well. And so I was like working around rehearsals, and then I was finally like, okay, now I can actually like gut and cook the fish, you know? And so I went and I cut open the fish that I thought was my fish, but I wasn't really sure because there was like some mix up with props and all the coats that had the catfish with them. And I cut open the catfish that was in the pocket of my coat that was like, I mean, it was like this big. It was a really big, I can't show you. It was a really big catfish. It was a really big coat pocket. And I cut it open, and inside all of the guts were in one little bag, and there were little like candy bags and things. So it was the gift fish that
Oh,
somebody had given me, that for some reason they like had done it somehow through the mouth, I guess, because there were no slices on it. So I'd like opened up this catfish and there were just like prizes inside. So then I spent like the rest of the dream going around and trying to find my catfish between rehearsals for the play and taking care of some cats. And I never did find my catfish.
oh,
So I was super bummed. I'm like, damn it. I worked hard to catch that fish, man. It was a big catfish. It was awesome. And I didn't want to cook the gift fish
right.
because, you know,
Yeah, it's a good fish.
yeah.
I
I
don't want to
mean,
do that either.
it's just like, okay, I've never seen a Kinder catfish, but or whatever you would call it.
Apparently they exist now.
Yeah. So if you ever catch a fish, boys and girls, don't put it in the coat pocket for a costume for a play that you're rehearsing in, because
That's a leading
you might
problem in
not be
America
able to
right now.
find it again.
Yeah. That's a leading problem in America right now. There's news articles on that about the fish in the pockets.
Yeah.
I dreamt that Lazarus Long found us. And he's like, why haven't you come to work? And I'm like, I don't want to be part of the organization. I will die. He didn't like that.
That's hilarious.
So holy crap, you guys have been going on for 3 hours.
Yeah.
3-hour
tour.
Yeah, we'll probably cut it here soon.
You have no idea how long we wanted to go on. I just figured we'd have a show.
Yeah, no,
Well,
we had a fun
nobody-
one. Pyle came and kept us company forever, man. I love Pyle.
Pyle is awesomeness. Thank you
You know.
for showing me Pyle and Ron. I have appreciated them.
Yeah, man. I'll be hanging out with Pyle later today. Well,
Great.
tonight,
I still want that selfie.
definitely. We'll get one.
Hi, kitty. Please tell me the kitty's name's not Kershanks.
Wait, whose cat was it? Mine?
Is the orange one? I don't know whose the
Oh,
orange one is.
That's Crowley.
Oh, that's Crowley. Okay, I can deal with that.
Yeah.
Crowley lived through the Widowmaker.
He's named after Aleister Crowley, actually. But
Yeah,
Michelle
but
and
still.
Brooke call him Crowley, the King of Hell from Supernatural. That's their version of it. So.
Yeah, I'm okay with it being either way, but Crowley from Supernatural lived through the Widowmaker. And it's
Multiples in a row, actually, apparently.
yeah,
I heard
and
about that.
Martha's mom did not live through that, but he did.
Yep.
They
Mark
didn't
Shepard.
find her for a week.
Mark Shepard is an amazing actor. I feel like a lot of people only know him from Supernatural, but dude, Mark Shepard is like he's
I'm
fucking
that
amazing.
nerd that knows
So
him
good.
from all the sci-fi shows.
A lot of
Star
sci-fi
Trek.
stuff. He's in Doom Patrol. He was in Leverage. There's like a million things I can name that had Mark Shepard. He's like one of those like Brit actors that are like
It's like his dad. Oh, in that episode of Doctor Who where him and his dad were in that episode.
Yep. I forgot. Yeah, he was in Doctor Who. Sci-Fi Channel pretty much contracted him for every major show they did for the longest time. This new sci-fi show, Mark Shepard's in it. All right. Oh, he's awesome.
I just
He's
looked
awesome.
up who Mark Shepard was.
Did you recognize him when you saw him?
Not really.
I guarantee you've probably
I'm-
seen some stuff with him in it.
Probably, but I'm looking and it's like Extinction, Walker, Independence, Leverage, Doom Patrol, Supernatural, Jules Verne's Mysterious Island, and I haven't seen any of those.
Oh,
so
gotcha. He's an amazing actor, man. He really is too. Classical trained and everything.
Well, of course. Look at his family.
Oh yeah, that's true too. Yeah. But hell yeah.
I am the least pop culturally in touch of anyone.
To explain his version of the King of Hell, Crowley, when he got control of Hell, he redesigned it to make it more efficient, and he turned Hell into the same for everyone, so they didn't have to have so much overhead. And it was a line. It was this dark, depressing hallway where you go and you stand in line, and then when you finally get to the end, you think, "Okay, I'm done." You reappear in the back of the line, and that's it. That's Eternity in Hell. He streamlined it, and that was like the whole. It's actually really hilarious to watch, but that literally like suits his entire personality right there. He's fucking epic.
That's cool.
And willing to kiss anybody.
Yep. They shared some actors with Lost also, which was cool. The guy that plays Lucifer was Jacob in Lost and a bunch of other stuff.
Dude,
Even
yeah,
Linda
the dude,
Blair. Linda Blair is in Supernatural also. She played a character at one point.
the dude who played Lucifer. The funny thing is, I can name one other show where he played practically a meat suit, what Josh will call him,
What?
where he was another human, and then the demon entered him. In
What show?
darn it, Ghost Whisperer.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that show. Until you just said, man, yeah.
I didn't. That one
I
and
haven't
Medium
in a
were one
while.
of my favorite shows when I was younger.
I like Medium a little bit more. I like them both, but I thought Medium was a little bit better writing wise.
I'm not disagreeing, but at that point, I got in a fight with Jonas and David over Charmed, Buffy, and Angel.
Big fan of all those too.
The thing is, they kept telling me it was a phase. I'm gonna grow out of it. My collection of stuff and what I watch now says no.
Oh, dude, I'm still a huge Buffy, Angel, and Charmed fan. Like, I even gone so far as to watch the remake of Charmed, which is a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I think it's been canceled now. I'm not entirely sure, but I think it was. But I've seen the first 2 seasons of it, if it's not been canceled.
What do you think about the remake of Sabrina?
You know, honestly, I liked it. It was very different than the Melissa Joan Hart Sabrina we had when we were growing up, like the cheesy, funny Sabrina. But like they used a lot of really dark stuff, and I really enjoyed how they did it. The cool thing
Like
about
the
it is,
sister thing?
yeah, it was originally supposed to be on CW along with Archie, the Riverdale
Mhm.
show, and it was going to be like a combined universe sort of thing. But because the CW didn't want that, he went to Netflix. But now that after they canceled Sabrina, the contract's over now. So he did the next scene of Sabrina as a comic, but then he brought Sabrina. I haven't seen this episode of Riverdale yet, but he brought Sabrina into Riverdale. It's the same guy doing both shows, and apparently the word is they're working on a way to bring Sabrina back as a show right now still. And I
That
kind of
would
hope it
rock.
happens. I thought it was interesting, but like where it got canceled and ended was just kind of like, really?
Yeah, I know that feeling. I agree. But I haven't seen Archie yet. That one,
The Riverdale. It's a really good show. I like it. It gets a little too CW at times for me, and I kind of ignore those parts. But like overall, it's pretty good.
okay.
But yeah,
And
with us
Dell's
being at
like, I have no
that
idea what's
3-hour
going on.
No, I was just like, I started watching it actually because in the school that they go to, the witchcraft one, not the regular high school,
Uh-huh.
they differentiated the rooms, which were basically all the same set. They would just change out what was in it for the different classrooms anyway.
Uh-huh.
Uh, with Clive Barker donated 150 paintings to the, I think it was 150. It was either 50 or 150 to the set to be used while they were filming it. So if you watched enough and you saw all the different paintings in the backgrounds, those were all done by Clive Barker. So it
Very cool. I
was,
didn't know that.
yeah. So now if you go back and watch it, you can like be looking at the walls, and if you know, if you recognize his style, you'll be like, oh yeah, totally. It'll make you kind of pop your eyes at it. I thought it was a little weird. Like I some of it they were just being silly. I think at the point like doing the upside down cross.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Some
And
of it was definitely
um
silliness.
and the Christmas episode when that was like it was absolutely like they never say anything that has to do with God or anything except when they were singing Christmas carols and then it was okay.
Yeah.
Though they were visited by otherworldly things and stuff. And
Kretschka, the Christmas cat, or the Yule cat, had the Yule lads.
the lads, yeah.
Yep.
And they were
I
just
love that
going
episode.
through all stuff. It was it was a fun show, I think.
Yeah, it was
It
fun.
wasn't like yeah, it wasn't meant to be taken seriously. I
Yeah.
don't think that.
Riverdale's much the same way, honestly, except for it just goes a little bit harder drama sometimes because it was CWE. So it's a little
Uh-huh.
bit more drama, but it's still a really good show. It's still really well written and well done.
I didn't get as far into that one. And then Luke Perry died, so I was
Yeah.
like
I got to the season where they kind of said the goodbye to him as a character, and not because I stopped liking it. They were watching it and they'll watch it and then they'll rewatch it again, and I just kind of missed them on the cycle. So I've still got like 2 or 3 seasons to go and catch up on.
yeah, I did like the way that Jughead was portrayed.
Me too, but I also
Um,
love him as an actor and an artist. So
that might be one of
both
the
of them
reasons.
actually, because we saw them originally on Big Daddy with Adam Sandler, and then the Sweet Life TV shows on Disney. But both of them do a lot with like podcasting and like really like avant-garde characters and just different stuff like that. One of them did the Left Right produced Nebraska. One of them produced an audio actual experience for Nebraska
Really?
that is amazing. I'll look that up. I do
Nebraska
got to go
was-
here shortly though.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm trying to see which one did it. Cole. It was
Okay.
actually Cole Sprouse that did it.
Cool.
Yeah, when he leaves, you'll have to take over the producing part because my internet went down. So
Okay.
I'm on my phone.
Yeah, I got to do
That's
the whole
cool.
eating and wrapping up some things because I got the hunt tonight and tomorrow. So like I gotta, and plus she's got to get up at like 7:30 in the morning to take Brooke to work. So, and it's already about 1 o'clock. So
Yeah, I'm gonna like I popped in for a short bit, but I'm not gonna be able to stay on too long because I still have to write my story for Sunday. It's here.
Okay.
It just needs to be here.
I'm still
So-
trying to figure out what it's going to be.
Oh, yeah.
So okay, I'm just making sure one of y'all knows you're going to have to shut it down from that end.
That's fine. I
All
mean, we can either end it now because I've got to go, or you guys can. I can pass it off and you guys can go along. It's your call. It's your call.
Okay, it's up to you guys.
I'm good with taking off now because I got stuff to do too. So
Okay. Mwah. Okay, guys, thank you for joining us on Corpse Garden Chronicles, which has turned into a very potted shell version of Corpse Garden Chronicles. But we did talk about corpse gardens, which was awesome, and different
did.
ways to deal with death, which is very important.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you for coming, Pyle. Thank you for coming, Dell, and thank you for coming, Raz. It is always awesome to see you. Thank you for joining me on the Howard thing.
It's awesome, man. I love that. It was a great show tonight.
You guys probably, with all the 1.5 million times we've said it, you know where to find all of us.
Yes.
Good night, guys.
Later, guys.